Welcome to the Blxxk Anime Podcast.
You see me dead, do you? Well then. Go on.
She all about that ass. That's slice of life.
Like I love Naruto. I grew up on Naruto. But like, it'll be crazy for me. It's like I just always compared anime to Naruto.
You are now tuned into the Blxxk Anime Podcast.
Not the same.
Bro, that nigga was strong. He just got caught up by that.
Emma is Naruto.
Not the same, bro. Not even close.
I'm afraid he couldn't even kill him.
And that's
Get your baby, dude. Get your baby.
You are now tuned in to the Blxxk Anime Podcast.
How I irk you, bro? This is the end of the road. Afro Samurai. What's good, everybody? I want to welcome y'all to another episode of the Blxxk Anime Podcast. You got your main man here, Aaron, aka the Lost Homie, aka the Anime Anthology. And today we got two special guests. Now they were supposed to be here like 2 months ago, okay? But it was busy, so I ain't mad at them. All right, I ain't mad at them. They was busy. But I said before we was gonna get them on, and we got them on now. We got the other half of the Anime Lately podcast, and I'm gonna go ahead and let them introduce themselves. So I don't do it.
Sam, go ahead first.
Yo, I go first? Okay.
Yeah,
This is
go
first. This is a new. Hi guys, this is Sam the Manga Man here from the Anime Lately. You probably hear from me from the Anime Lately channel from the YouTube side, or you've listened in to the Anime Lately podcast. I am your host from there, where I always give the nice guests crazy awesome intros, always making fun of our main man Vash over here. Always and yeah, we all have a good time. If you're not too sure of us, we do anime and manga reaction and review. We give you our synopsis, our theories, everything has to do with manga anime related. But it's not just that. We also are conversational podcast. We love comic books, we love pop culture, we love movies. And if you feel interested, come and join us.
So with LegendDVash, I'm the guy that posts horny tweets at 2-3 in the morning when you're still sleeping or awake. That's me, who watches a lot of anime and do a lot of edits, and I never sleep. I'm always either editing, watching anime, or reading some type of stuff on my phone that is in the private window.
Oh, you mean you're the Freddy Krueger of hentai?
If you want to go there, sure.
Well, I'm really happy to have you both on, especially for this topic. I posted about it on Twitter. Vash is really excited. He's really excited to come on. He one of the first people to comment on it, and I was like, "This is perfect," because I've been need y'all to come on anyway. So it's perfect. I'm happy to have you out here. And before we get into it, let's start with the what's up, like we always do. If you want to check in what y'all been watching, what y'all been reading, manga, otherwise, and watching anime, otherwise. Just how y'all been. What's been good with y'all? Since Sam introduced himself first, Vash, you can go ahead and go first.
Me, right now we're recording on Thursdays, and PlayStation 5 came out, so I was excited to know, like, yo, I'm gonna get my PlayStation. Sam got it, but then my girl bought it off him as like a little nice present for me. But then soon to find out it's a Christmas present, so I have to wait until Christmas to open that shit. So I was like, yo, so kind of punishment do I deserve for my girlfriend to be like waiting a whole month to open my PlayStation?
Yo,
and she's
how
like,
is it a punishment? It's a Christmas present.
Hey, Sam, it's my turn talking. Let me preach. I have this right here, like 2 minutes of talking about my preachness of the what's up. So I feel a bit hurt. Of like, okay, so I have to wait a whole month. So like, should I either buy the Spider-Man game? Should I wait, just get it from the PS5? Should just have patience, or should I try to convince my girl and swindle her this whole weekend and try to convince her? So like, I'm trying to mind bother that, but other than that, PlayStation came out, and I'm very excited for that because I know I'm gonna get it either way. As much as I'm an impatient person and want to play it and have it on my desk already. Other than that, I've been trying to catch up to my backlog of this past year of the season of anime. Currently, I was trying to finish The Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited. That's on Funimation. And also, I'm trying to finish Glepner. because Funimation app sucks when you watch on your tablet or trying to watch it offline. So the best way to watch it is on your desktop because that's like the only best way to watch it without having any slow problems. And reading, I'm reading a lot, so I could give a whole list, but if people want to know what I'm reading, get check out my anime list. But what I'm currently catching up is to Ghost Reaper Girl, Phantom Seer, and Blood Oath because I'm behind a couple chapters, and also Under Unlock and Mashle. I was behind 2 chapters of those from the past 2 weeks. So I was catching up on those chapters. And if you guys have not read Under Unlock or Mashle, to those listening, highly suggested. Those series will be big if they continue their strive and their growth. Those series will be big within next year in 2021.
All right. Busy man. But at least you got a PS5, right? Like, at least you have somebody buy it for you, you know what I mean? And take out your own money, own pocket, right? Like, I ain't get one till like February because I'm broke. I'm broke, nigga. Like, I'm broke, nigga. Damn. So like I'm still talking about complaining. I'm gonna wait till Christmas, nigga. Think you me, bro. Think you me.
No, but it's still like 6 weeks. Like it's right there on my hands. Like it's almost there.
I see. I can understand that. But you didn't have to buy it. It was bought for you.
True.
Ungrateful.
Right? So
I appreciate it still.
This guy.
Grateful.
What's so funny is what's so funny is he tried to do the mob mentality onto me. I was like, that shit ain't gonna work, right? Because I don't give a fuck. I don't care who, like, we have a YouTube channel. I don't care what people have to say to us that's like so criminally hurtful and all stuff like that. So it doesn't work on me whatsoever. At least I was lucky enough. I just happened to still be awake at 3 a.m. in the morning. You have Best Buy having that server problem, and like once it started to fix up, everybody starts buying from Best Buy. I jumped into it. I got the opportunity, made my purchase, all done in there. And hey, I mean, if I wasn't gonna sell it to Vash, his girlfriend, so that she can give it to him for Christmas, I would have just sold it from StockX. I would have gave it to eBay or whatnot. Like, hell, I'll sell it for $800. All I'm making is a $200 profit. I wasn't gonna play in the first place. I would just literally want that small little bit of a profit into it, and then invest it into like a better PC computer. And that would have been like a fine.
You was trying to be a reseller. I tweeted today. We don't buy from resellers, okay? I only buy from the officials. I don't buy from resellers.
I mean, like, if I knew you, if I like trust you and reasonable idea, I'd probably give you a better deal than 800 for sure. But like, at least I got it. I have the product. I technically paid for it and have the ownership. All I need is just Vash's girlfriend to just pay me however she wants or whenever needed before the time in. That's fine. I'm a patient man and I trust her. And Miguel, I knew he was a curiosity that kills the cat. So, and what's funny is that he convinced his girlfriend to have to talk to me to buy it from me, and I was okay with that. But because that you're getting it from me, she could like literally control whatever she wants with you in that sort of way. She has the power technically. Ball may be in my court, but then I can technically just give it to her and she can do whatever she wants with it. You just gonna be the perfect boyfriend, bro. I mean, just be the perfect boyfriend. Because like I would definitely say like in that kind of attitude, it's like having a little kid on Christmas Day, and that actually fits perfectly. So I guess if you wanna like have it early or do something special, talk to her, man. Make it like do something special for her. Do the whole perfect boyfriend experience, and hey, you never know. Maybe you get it like literally the beginning of December, and that's perfectly fine. It's like you could wait 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. All right, but Sam, what you been up to, man?
Okay, man. I've been watching the season's animes and stuff. I've watched 100 Million Lives. I've been holding 100 Million Lives. It's okay.
I'm standing on.
Yeah, thank you. Like I'm standing on 100 Million Lives. It's okay. It's not a bad isekai, but it's just there for me to watch. I think that was like one of many few ones that's just there on Crunchyroll. I've also been watching Kuma Kuma Bear. That was like I'm still watching a lot of isekai anime and that sort of stuff, and I'm a slice of life kind of watcher. So I was actually just good just to lean back, just to watch and just to enjoy and be happy with it. And that's how I enjoy anime and slice of life and stuff. I'm watching Tonikawa.
Yeah, Tonikawa. Yeah,
like the whole Fly Me to the Moon and that sort of thing. I like it. It's very, very adorable. I'm behind on Fire Force, which I'm still within like the first core of the second season. And like, not to make a whole pun of it, I know it's lit. Dragon Quest, me and Vash are watching that, and actually it's pretty good, honestly. Like Toei,
I've heard it's good. I just haven't checked in yet.
Like Toei has been doing really well with its animation job and its story too. Like with its including like Digimon as well. The Digimon reboot it's actually pretty good right now.
Solid SL is great. I highly recommend for anybody that loves Digimon and wants to check out the reboot of 2020. It's only right now 23 episodes, and the story, me and Sam love it. We react to it week to week, and it's such a great series. We highly suggest the animation is great, the new forms, so much Easter eggs from other series of the lore of Digimon. Highly suggested.
Okay, and I've also been watching By the Grace of the Gods. How I'm seeing from the rating is actually pretty much higher than I thought. It's like another isekai that's a slice of life thing, which involves slimes. And I guess with the whole How I Got Reincarnated as a Slime anime did so well, I guess this is what they were hoping for to attract. Like, hey, you like slime anime? This anime has slime. And it's also a isekai. You could go ahead and watch it, see if you enjoy it. It's a nice another like almost a good slice of life. Golden Kamuy season 3. I'm liking Golden Kamuy. It's just weird, hilariously funny, like you would watch in JoJo or Gintama, that sort of thing, and it just works. Another one was Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle.
I've heard good stuff about that one too. A lot of people loving it.
I like it. I've read the manga for this, and I thought it was hilarious. Every episode is just that she just do some crazy shit just for good sleep, and I would. At the moment, I should be like that because I don't really sleep as much as I like to. Noblesse, I'm behind. I have not caught up to, but I have read the manhwa for it, finished it. I think that was it. I think that was it for all the anime of this season. For manga reading, haven't been consistent as I like to be. I'm caught up with almost all the Shonen Jump mangas. But I think I'm one chapter behind on Dead Unlock. That's it. Yeah.
Y'all kind of watching seasonal stuff. I'm up on some of it, but this is this weekend. This is the weekend in which I will binge watch. Well, all up to probably next Thursday, I will binge watch about 30 anime, all on episode 6s or no 5s, no 6s or 7s. I'm about to.
So you're saying you're not caught up to JJK yet?
No, I haven't even started it. I've purposely not started
Really?
it yet.
Wow.
I have not started. I haven't started JJK yet. I haven't started Noblesse. I haven't started the Adventures. Oh, you're talking about the Adventures of Dai. I haven't started By the Grace of the Gods. I haven't started. I haven't started a lot of them purposely because I haven't started Haikyuu, the new season of Haikyuu yet, because I hate waiting week to week with Haikyuu. That is the most painful thing in the world. So I haven't started that yet. I am literally like, this is the weekend, and weekend up to next Thursday, in which I am about to go ham on anime.
You're more of a binge watcher than week to week, from what it sounds like, because you don't like the waiting process. You like to do the week to week.
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like this. This is what I can do. Instead of watching week to week, I can binge watch it all in about a week, right? And I can catch up to everything. And then during all that time that everybody else is week to week, I can be binging the shows I missed or the shows I haven't finished yet from the past season, stuff like that. So I just dedicate 1 week of anime to just straight seasonal stuff. Then every other week I'm watching old stuff.
I mean, it's fine. That's smart. I mean, as long as you're able to watch it, you're fine. I would say if you would save it for Thanksgiving, you can have like a whole Thanksgiving anime kind of thing.
Shoot. I mean, I was thinking about because we have a mid-season episode, we have an end of the season episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to wait until after Thanksgiving, but after Thanksgiving, it's basically end of the season by then. There's only 2 weeks left after that, 2-3 weeks. Yeah,
I think maybe like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yes, 3 or 4 after
they
Thanksgiving.
end around like Christmas day and around Christmas time.
And around Christmas, yeah. So that's like 4 weeks. I don't like doing it. I try to do it at 7 because usually I try to do it at 7 because I hate taking up two slots on catching up episodes or like seasonal episodes. So I try to do it exactly at 7. So that's why I'm not waiting, but I'll probably end up watching some seasonal stuff because every once in a while I get bored and I do some of the seasonal stuff is really good. Like you talk about like in Slice of Life, you have to watch The Day I Become God. There is sadness coming. There is sadness coming in that anime. It's just sitting there watching us, waiting to come down and hurt our hearts and kill us. It's coming. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's coming, and I'm already feeling a certain way about it. The Day I Become God is a sleeper title this season. I mean, a lot of titles are sleepers this season because there's so many fucking titles. But The Day I Become God is probably like the biggest sleeper title this season because I haven't heard nobody talking about it.
I hear good. It looks good because the studio is PA Works, and they usually do a really good job with their animation styles. But like I feel like the creator looks familiar. Like this anime itself looks familiar of who made it.
Yeah, I gotta look up the creator, but I was watching a YouTube video, and the creator, the person who created this has apparently made a few other like heart-wrenching anime before. So this is not something he isn't new to. So it's definitely something that's gonna touch your heart. Definitely something that's gonna,
Oh, okay. So
make you
this is
feel
the
things.
same person who did Angel Beats.
It might be. Unless you're looking at it right now, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Angel Beats, Little Busters, Clannen. Okay, yeah. If you created Clannen, you know you're gonna make some kind of tearjerker kind of moment episode anime kind of thing. Come on.
And it's coming. Like it's mostly a comedy, but and a comedy hits. Okay, the characters in this show are just. This might be honestly. This might make top 3 for me just because of its balance between comedy and serious moments. Something that's hard to do that we don't see very often in slice of life or even action series. But this does a very good job of it, and to the point to where there's the last episode from 2 episodes ago. They're playing. What game are they playing? They're playing some traditional Japanese board game. And I can't remember what it was. Shogi. Is it Shogi? How they're playing?
Hataru no Go.
No, I don't think that's.
No,
I don't think it's like Shogi.
That's got old.
Isn't that a game like Shogi or something like that? What's it called?
Was it Go?
Oh, it's not Go. It's the one where. Oh my gosh! It reminds me of Dominoes. I'm black. I'm going back to my roots. What is the game? Yeah, Shogi. Is it Shogi? No, it's not.
Shogi
Oh my gosh!
More advanced than chess.
Yeah, what is the game? Anyway, I'd have to go back and look at the episode. But anyway, they're talking about it, and it's hilarious because like the girl, she tells them, she's like, anything you can do in Uno, you could do in this game. So this man just comes out. No, he has no clue what he's doing. Never played the game before. Has no clue. He has a skip in the middle of the game. Everyone looks at him like the other competitors are sweating, and like this one woman who's like in charge of it, she's like looking for something like this, and she's like getting horny from it. She's like, oh my gosh, he just said skip. This is a brand new style of playing. I've never seen this type before. He is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, like it's hilarious because like it's I don't know, it's perfect. It is such an amazing game, amazing show. It has me laughing, but also kind of on the edge of my seat because I know something is coming. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's being too happy right now. There's too much happiness. I need sadness. Where's it coming? what I've been up to this week, I've been working for the most part, chilling. My girl came to visit me, so she was here for a few days, and she just left this morning. But besides that, you know, I mean, I'm playing Destiny 2 since Beyond Light came out. I said I was going to stream it. That's not happening right now. I need to start streaming. I need to get used to it. I like streaming, but it also I just don't be feeling used to it because I be like in my party with my friends, and they don't be feeling it my friends don't stream. So like I feel weird talking to stream. I'm in a party with them because like then it's like they think I'm talking to them. I'm like, nah, I'm talking to chat. So I feel weird. But I also like playing by myself. I like playing with my friends. So I got to figure out a balance. But yeah, I'm playing Destiny 2 Beyond Light. It's been pretty good. Try to start streaming. Hopefully, I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna stream when the raid comes out because me and my clan are gonna try to first time it. So that'd be cool. You know, probably fail, but it'd be fun to watch us fail. Besides that, I think only anime I watched. I haven't really watched that much anime this week because my girl was here. What did I watch this week? I didn't finish anything this week, which means it's a slow week. I haven't finished anything this week, but yes, that's what I've been up to. I haven't really been reading either. I have the second volume of Tokyo Ghoul just sitting in my bookcase.
Ooh, you're in for something with Tokyo Ghoul.
I love the manga. I've only read the first volume, but I already love it more than the anime. I did not like the anime.
You will never miss the anime. You'll be like, anime what? Sorry, what? What? I'm sorry. I mean, all I remember is the opening, and that's fine. The opening was fire. Yeah. But that's all you got. Only except other than the openings, everything else was kind of crap. It's just the story was just no.
Season 1 was okay for me, but I feel like it didn't do enough with the intricacies of the main characters, like his actual characterization. So I wasn't able to latch onto him. While in the manga, even though it's the scenes, it's pretty much just they did a pretty good job of matching the scenes. It's pretty similar. It feels like it explains other parts better, and it really gives you a better feel for who the MC is. And I really enjoyed that so far.
What I didn't really like about the anime is because they kind of sidestepped the story. Like this never happened in the manga. Like he never joined them. Like no, he made his own thing. Like what the fuck? Like where does this come from? Like where the hell is this making any sense? And that like threw me off completely within the first season. And that's why like some people might say it's okay, not bad, and decent. I say no, because it just literally like they changed the important fact, and they tried to have the same fight just so to make it look like it's almost the same thing within the manga. But when the story does not match, and all you have is just the same fight, it's not anything special. It's just you're just doing this for fan service. It's just like what right now with God of High School, where you're not showing enough story, you're just giving all the fights that we're not even too sure about the entire story, kind of thing.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I said I didn't like it and people were attacking me. So I'm glad you are on my side.
For God of High School or
no, for Tokyo Ghoul. I said I was enjoying the manga better than the anime. And people were like,
said it was good. I need to talk to them. How is the anime good for Tokyo Ghoul?
People said everything. They said everything was good up until Ray. They messed up Ray, but everything before that was so good. Now I was just like, yo, season 2 is garbage, man. Like y'all like season 2? Am I tripping? Like I really did not like it. I feel like it just got away from itself, and the main character just became too whiny. I'm like, come on now,
like I mean, it's understandable like why he's like he gets annoying and whiny, but then you don't know the savagery this guy goes through early on. Where he gets like you just picked on the quiet kid. You don't mess with the quiet kid because you don't know what they're gonna do. Mm-hmm. And in the manga, he does way much worse, crazier shit that compared to the anime. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you so there's a scene where there's supposed to be Kaneki versus the Toka's brother, the guy with like the whole the wings, the feathers, guy and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
In the manga, Kaneki was a savage. He said like, all right, so I wanted to kill you because you've been like beating me up. You killed my friends and like the people that I've known that I care about, but then again, I can't kill you because you're Toga's brother, and like everything like that. So you know what? I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I half kill you. Meaning, so like I wasn't too sure in the first place. So I was thinking like maybe I could just destroy everything from your bottom half and then like or the top half. But then that wouldn't make sense. If I destroyed the brain and destroyed the heart and stuff, that you're gonna end up dying. Shoka's gonna be sad. So you know what? I figured or maybe I could cut it from top to bottom, literally cut you in half like Solomon does. It's like, but then again, that's gonna also kill you too. So then you know what? This is my alternate. I'm gonna break half of your bones. He's like, he literally give you the whole the whole biology of the human skeleton. There's 206 there's 206 bones in the human body. I'm gonna break 103 of your bones of your in your entire body. And this guy just literally finger by finger, elbow by elbow, then like his wrist, everything, his legs, both arms, and then literally the final blow was to his back. He literally destroyed him, like mentally and physically at the same time. Despite ghouls being able to regenerate and everything, he's never gonna be forgetting about this pain ever again. That's how savage Kaneki is, and they're not gonna show that onto an anime because that's too
graphic. Yeah,
I guess like too violent, too explicit. It's just gonna be way too graphic. It's too savage. Once I know that it wasn't gonna happen, it was over. Even with the Jason fight, that was the only closest. It's like probably the only closest fight that you ever get from the entire Tokyo Ghoul series.
Okay, so I feel like I made a good decision now. I can't wait to finish reading.
I will defend this that the anime for Tokyo Ghoul is complete crap. Manga is like the best, but the anime just completely sucked.
I really am glad to hear you say that. Oh yes. All right, let's get into the topic. The topic is animation versus live action. Now, if you are an anime, actually, if you're an anime fiend, manga, comic book, anything, you know the danger of the live action adaptation, right? You know the danger. Yes. You know the fear that strikes your heart when you hear we're making this into a live action. When you read that report, so I kind of want to dive into that and really talk about it because there is not, and although it's growing, it's definitely growing. The respect for the animation as a medium is way too low. It's way too low, and it's to me it's like it's really unnecessary how much Hollywood and even other countries, they don't give animation the respect it deserves, because animation itself is its own powerhouse medium that does not always need a live action adaptation, because some things are just done better in animation. So there's different topics we want to get into and kind of talk about throughout the episode and everything like that. So first, I kind of wanted to talk about the accentuation of story elements. Now, when you watch a regular live action movie, let's talk about something like Fast and the Furious, right? It's probably like a good or I guess bad point, but talking about something like Fast and the Furious, where the way they accentuate how the story works, how it moves, how the action, everything like that, is 10 times different than animation. Because in animation you have the freedom to really create your own camera angles without having to worry about a person or an object, physically in the way, which is about the way you can really create your own camera angles. And this is kind of like the beginning in which you really see the main difference between animation and live action is the ability to create circumstances that are unable to be replicated within live action. Now, the two anime I have down, and I thought of a few other ones that work too, but the two anime that I have down right now are two, favorites, two worldwide phenomenons, Your Name and Weathering with You. And I put these two down because I feel as though there's a lot of things that these anime, let's talk about Your Name first. A lot of things that Your Name does that could be replicated in live action, but there's also a lot of parts that are things that would have to be done to the nth degree to even look not fabricated or not cheap in live action. And then Weathering with You itself is like from the whole thing with them flying through the air and everything like that, that serenity that has calls from there. I've never seen that in a live action adaptation in a live action movie in ever. And we've had falling through the air scenes in hundreds of movies, right? And there's nothing that has ever evoked the type of emotion, type of feelings that I got from watching Weathering with You, the anime movie. And it's the ability for animators to create this very unique situation that only works for animation, because in live action it's impossible because they don't have the ability to do it. So I mean, that accentuation of those story elements is really important and something that really separates an anime, whether it's a movie, whether it's a series, from being replicated. Not even saying, and the thing is, again, when we get a little further, I'll talk about how I feel about the purpose of an adaptation, but for the purpose of saying being replicated or remade, makes it kind of impossible. So that's how I feel. What about you guys?
So, okay, I can help defend the Weathering with You because that entire movie was all hand-drawn artistic way, which is very rare. There's not many movies, anime especially, that does hand-drawn animation like Miyazaki used to does the sort of way. Nobody else. To have the director to do Weathering with You and his movie of how it does the water, the rain, the buildings and everything, all hand-drawn, everything like that. No way a live adaptation can replicate that sort of beauty when it comes to art. That's like, you can't find the perfect lady, the perfect looking person, you draw it. Because that's probably as close as you'll ever be able to ever find that person, or to actually you expect to ever see that person in real life. And like the comparison of the whole, you find a real person, but can they act? Can they literally do the things that I need them to do to make this like movie that I need to make? Like, no way. You're gonna be finding that one in over 8 billion people in the world just so that you can have your movie that you want to have like out there in real life? No, that is not possible. Especially also with Your Name, same thing, same director, same hand-drawn movie. You can't beat a hand-drawn movie no matter how live adaptation you're gonna go into, because you can't fix the imperfectness of a human look face wise, no matter how much makeup or anything like that. Hand draw, like with drawing, where you're actually the artist, you're the master, you're the god itself to portray this artistic work. You can like it'll look more fantastic than you ever like believe into. I guess like the only thing that live action film that can have over animation is depending on the actors, the characters that they're trying to portray to the person, because human emotions can be triggered by real emotions or action, the way the move, the words that they talk, the motivations they speak. Like there are many movies that we all think from the back of our heads where they gave great motivational speeches, like with Rocky, and with all the with Terminator, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like those one lines from actings, those are the memorable stuff where you felt like, oh my god, when you watch that movie. Something with animation, with anime, there's no need for talent. There's no need for looks and talent. It's just all about your voice. You just need to portray your voice and let the animation of the entire art help captures you. It's like saying like when you see a painting in art, it's subjective. It's how you ever picture it. It's how you feel from this emotion, the picture that you've seen. With anime, it's a moving picture. It shows how you feel when you watch this moving pictures in animation. And now you're adding sound to it. You're adding people's voice actors into their character roles, how they captivate you in emotions. It's good. There's a good comparison between an animation and live action. Depending on how you how you prefer your own mediums, either the movie or animation, Western animation, anime, or books. It really depends on who you are, of how you want to do this, of better enjoyment for yourself.
Good points. Good points. I didn't even. I mean, I didn't even think about like talking about a voice actor versus,
An actor,
an
yeah.
actor and in live action. And I mean, again, we're not discrediting voice actors. They're amazing people.
Yeah.
They've done great things.
I feel like they're really underappreciated. They're really underappreciated.
100%.
They are underappreciated.
But you gotta understand, it's like, from a voice actor's point of view, you're voicing it, but you have that chance they draw that one moment, hundreds of times to make it perfect.
Mhm.
And I don't know, there is something about the awkwardness, the what's the word? The humanity and seeing a live action actor give that kind of speech that you don't owe that. I mean, we have gotten them, and we've gotten some really good ones. Commander Irwin, we've gotten some really good, those motivational speeches. But I can't lie and say watching Rocky, and hearing Sylvester Stallone, and all giving those talks or speeches is nothing like it. But that's the thing. Like, both of them have their strengths and also their weaknesses. Vash, you got anything to add?
Yes, I have a lot to add. So, to what to Sam's point is, and to counter to what Sam's point is, for example, if you're trying to have your name be done and translated into US, it could work, but also the same story plot cannot also work, because in Japan they have different jokes, they have different culture, they have different myths, that the way they make the films and the way they give the story plot. Like, if you try to explain a film of two people that lives in one country, and one person lives in the city and one person lives in the outskirts of the town, but you try to explain that they also live in two different timelines of your name, but try to compare that storyline and trying to Americanize it, it won't work all the time. It just depends who's the director, who's behind it, and if they understand the story, but they could translate it for people of the US to understand it as well as the live action. It's always up in the air, because we don't know the director and how will it be put on screen. Who's the actors that can actually translate those type of emotions that we saw in the animation side and in the voicing side that Sam said? That also adds a layer. But now you're gonna add one more layer, is you're gonna take away the animation side, but you're gonna add the face side. You're gonna add these characters humor side by showing their smile, by showing their eyes, by showing their emotion. It's not just voice no more, but you have to actually believe what they care about those characters that they have never met, but to actually care for as a person. So it always has in and outs. If you're gonna go from live action, sorry, if you're gonna go from anime to live action, you're taking away the animation, but you put it in the face. So it's always in and outs of which one do you prefer and which one do you take.
And I mean, that's a big truth, because again, talking about the story elements, those parts where an anime could do Rocky, but the story, the way that it's accentuated in the live action, the story with Sylvester Stallone, seeing his face, it's not. And I'm sorry, I've seen, if you've watched a lot of anime and even like American cartoons, I've seen the most realist of animation. I've seen them get as close, damn near close as they could, and it's still
food looks better in anime sometimes, and I'm like, how do the food that I'm looking at right now looks better than what's just cooked up in the stove right now? I'm like, why does an egg there look so much more tastier and looks like it's the best egg in the world, but I can't taste it, but looks freaking godlike?
That's the truth. Anime food is the best looking food in the galaxy. Ain't no food. Even they make an alien food in the anime, and it will look better than real food in the real world. Don't make no sense.
That is a fact, because, like, for example, you said a perfect example. Imagine trying to put Rocky as an anime. I love Rocky. I have seen all the films when I was little, but I will stand by this, and I will believe if you put Rocky as the voice actor, like all the people that that did the voice of those characters but did it in anime, but just put the animation, I think the film will be a lot better, or probably add one more layer to actually put the movie in a higher type of elevation of the film, because you have the animation where you don't have to actually worry about the angle of the director, but you can make your own angle and have a different type of perspective of the characters, because you don't have to worry about the whole character schedules. You worry about them to actually come on time and everything. You just need them to voice the character, and then the whole animators could do their own thing. And I think it will add a whole different layer to it.
I personally, with me, I would disagree. I think when it comes down to something like Rocky, where well, okay, I disagree because I was trying to think of it as I was saying that. As you were saying, I was trying to think exactly what the right thing to say. I think animation does do a good job of making things better. However, with something like Rocky, I think for me, maybe it could be a feeling, it could be a emotional, personal thing. I'm not trying to be objective here. Watching Rocky, I feel like the closest thing we get to Rocky, when coming anime wise, is what Hajime no Ippo and Megalobox, right? Those are the two
Agree.
closest
Yeah.
we
Sure.
get to boxing, or even Rocky like stories, underdog coming up from the top, that kind of thing, right? And I don't know. I feel like Rocky in that sense, it wouldn't work because Rocky, like being, and this is just because of the way the story works and the way they the story elements. Him being a person, live action, actor is humanizes him in a way that wouldn't work in anime.
I guess because the humanizing part is Stallone and his weird voice and accent, like
his voice.
You can't replicate that voice. That's
voice,
kind of.
his face,
But then I can't really say you want to use that voice to compare it more humanizing. I mean, I guess.
I would say his voice, his face, his mannerisms, his little things that we've seen, animation fabricate. But I'll say this: I just don't think it would be able to be done perfectly. And the only way for it to be better would it have to be done perfectly. You'd have to, and I mean, you'd have to literally like watch that man 24/7, like a year, to really get down his little ticks, the little things that he does as an actor. Where again, as a voice actor, you're kind of you kind of put in a box because the movie is drawn, animated, all of that, and you come in and you just speak over. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not as though.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it hasn't been done before with like Chinese kung fu movies.
Yeah, Chinese kung fu movies not. I mean, like Ip
right
Man
here,
or something.
But right here is a perfect counter argument. Have you seen Planet of the Apes? Those people use face capture, and when those monkey moves their faces or eyes, those are actual people moving their eyes and faces. But it's just they have a whole monkey skin in the movie. But if you see the behind the scenes, that's just people just walking around in green screen on their whole body, or blue screen as well. But those are just people having a whole face just face CG just plays on it. But those are everything they move of their face, of their eyes, is their actual own body.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, again, it could be done, but again, like I was saying, just speaking from my own feelings, I don't know how I would feel about it. But
also, it's about technology.
That's true. I mean, hey, that's true. The technology is there for it to be done. So I cannot.
Technology will always evolve and always make a new way of making animation look so much better. Because if you were to if you were to be able to watch literally start Naruto now, and this anime has it's over 15 years. And if you watch an episode of Naruto and you were to compare it to an episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, you can see there's a better touch up, a lot cleaner, a better look with what we have right now in generation today with anime and stuff. But you gotta see it this way. People who've been watching anime since the beginning and all that stuff like that had to grow up with this. This is what we had. No, we had nothing else. There was never an alternative. This is like the best way we can watch this in a sort of anime where it's for kids and not just where anime was for adults back in the 80s and 90s.
But it's also just like you said, and plus Aaron is also on the story and how the voice actors handle it. I'd rather watch, as much as I love Naruto and I grew up with it, but I'd rather watch Trigun that's much older, about a couple years before, and the older animation than Naruto. I'd rather watch Trigun, not because it's shorter, but also because the story is more condensed, and also I feel like the voice actors did a good job to just hold those 26 solid episodes for me, than rather me watch the first Naruto of 200 episodes of the old version and then the new version like another 500 episodes. So it's all kind of depends on what you kind of want to watch and also see what the show brings you in.
And that kind of moves on to like the next topic that I want to get into within this, which is like the differences between animation techniques and live action techniques. Now, y'all brought up a good point. Like animation has changed broadly from then till now. You know what I mean? And even, I mean, the techniques they use in live action movies has changed also when it comes to, you know, like you said, Planet of the Apes, being able to do that kind of technology to, you know, make a human look like an animal, you know, in a movie. However, it brings that beckoning question is like, well, then why is it so hard to evoke or bring the same feeling or bring the same air, you know, that you get from animation? How do you not get that in live action? And so that comes out of this. So there's two examples I have to bring up, two movie examples I have to bring up, and that is The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Redline. Now, if you've seen either of those movies, both of those movies are phenomenal. We talked about them last year, right? Not last year, but earlier this year. No, it was last year. I don't remember. Last year during our movie week episode when we both were binging anime movies to talk about, and those are two movies that could never be replicated in live action. Because one of the most important things about this, and this is probably wild for me to say, y'all probably can't even guess the next word that comes out of my mouth, is that because it's animated. Because the art style of these movies are the hallmark that make them two of probably the most phenomenal anime movies that I've ever seen. It is the art style, something that, you know, the only thing that like there's movies that have distinct styles. And the only thing I can think of that has a really distinct style is the movie based on that graphic novel. Oh my gosh. I have it in my head and I cannot remember the name of the movie. Sin City. That had like a really distinct style to it. But even if you push that to its max, it'll never be Redline. It'll never be that, you know, let's see. I think the only thing that was close was Speed Racer. The Speed Racer movie from 2010 or something like that. And that movie, they did a really good job of bridging that cartoon element with real life racing, but that wouldn't work for Redline because Redline is gritty. Redline is tough. You know what I mean? It would take a lot of blending. It would take the same amount of effort, but it still wouldn't reach it because its art style and the way it's animated cannot be replicated anyway perfectly to live action medium. And then we talk about The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, where we have older art style and older animation techniques. And if you were to just make that people, it would take away the charm from it. It would take away the what's the word? The thing that grabs you is how it tells its story using the art style and the animation. And that's something live action, no matter how advanced we get, when you start trying to make people look like video games, something like that, it doesn't always downgrade the movie, but a lot of times it takes away from the seriousness of it because maybe it is real people doing it and you still think of them as real people. So like I think the only one that was really good with it was James Cameron in Avatar, where we went from regular people to the blue people, which the guy was controlling, something like that. But even then, it went from basically people to people, and it didn't really change the aesthetic of the style of the movie. You're talking about, they didn't necessarily look different. They were just people that were blue with weird ears. You know what I'm saying? Like if you keep on putting down, like I don't know, I said that, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's animation. The way they take the animation in these movies and in these series is that they make them so the way that if you were to ever move into live action, you already took away, especially for the really great anime of our times, you took away a big chunk of the show by taking away the animation and the art style. You take away 70% of the show right there. So with the difference between animation techniques and live action techniques, I think that's just like a big one, a big glaring one that really pulls away from making a live action successful.
I agree to some point, because yes, you take away the style and artisticness of the animation, because that's why it's anime and not live action. It is a lot more work. It is a lot more effort, and it takes much longer time to do an entire 3-year entire anime compared to 3 years to maybe 1.5 year for like live action. Because with A Girl Who Leaps Through Time, created by Hosoda, I love his work. I love his movies, and The Girl Who Leaped Through Time was made during the 2003, if I'm correct. And during that style, it was still pretty new. It was still for animation, and his way of making it, and how his camera shots would go into his own movies, and how he made it really relatable, make it as much personal as it can. Because he makes his movies all about like within his family, within his generation, ancestors, and that stuff. Because that's where we got Mirai. That's how we got Summer War. That's how we got the Digimon movies. Yeah, he has his unique abilities because it's over time and over his work, and we have its knowledge of it. And Girl Who Leaped Through Time was one of the first ones that he did. Having it live action now, it can still actually work better, because we've seen a lot of Hollywood time traveling movies, and although some of them have not worked really well, like I could give you a whole entire handful that's close to The Girl Who Leaped Through Time, like Time Traveler's Wife, I think it was Adadale or something like that, and all other stuff. It could work out really well. It's just the story for that, I don't know who writes them. It's just complete crap. But with the story for the Hollywood movies always complete crap. If they were to
like
use
The Time Traveler's Wife, I like that. What? That was a good movie to me.
I mean, like, that was as close as you can get to The Girl Who Leaps Through Time. But that's the difference between a whole adults growing up from teenager to college to adulthood to old manhood and then the whole married life and all that stuff. Whereas to The Girl Who Leaped Through Time, they always stay within high school. They always stay within the high school dramas. They still stay within the life that's been had. Like, although like they both, like, where one can control time, the other one you can't. It's also about the consequences, which they both do have, but I felt the consequences for The Girl Who Leaped Through Time made the most sense, and better relatability, and better to see in real life, that can actually better written within Hollywood movies that they can actually see, especially where Hollywood keeps recruiting new younger stars, actors from either from Disney or Nickelodeon or all of this stuff. I really think that if you could find a good child actor and child actors in the whole school life and the whole drama of it, and make it as, I guess, within the Western culture of school life, it's possible, because we've seen so many of those kind of movies and TV shows as well, where you don't have to keep everything the same as Japanese culture within the school. They have playing baseball, riding their bikes, or they have travel, or all that drama. The drama, you can have that anywhere, and it can work within the Western culture, where I can see a live adaptation of The Girl Who Leaped Through Time, and actually can work almost better than the original movie. But that's also about a preference of people who love the original movie more than any reboots or adaptation, that sort of thing. If you can be open-minded to it, you probably would like it. You would like it, experience it much more better. Another movie you said is Redline with the racing movies. I guess you could try to put together within Speed Racer or like with Fast and the Furious, because we know Fast and the Furious movies does some most outrageous shit you'll ever see that doesn't really happen like that or real. So like you're gonna have a whole car jump into a ship and destroy, and hopefully not to destroy the entire thing and blow up. So do you really thought that a car with hooks that can literally hook to the other side of the bridge with no bridge, you're literally gonna be like swinging all the way around 360 try to get to the other side? Nah, no, that's not happening. that does not really happen in real life. And like I guess by the time when Fast and Furious go into touch into space, I guess this is Redline. I guess we're touching Speed Racers now. Fast and Furious in space? Okay. I guess we're touching there. All right. So it's not like it's off the rails for it to see it in live adaptations. It's just going to be like, how well do you want to do it? Because it's all about special effects and green screen. And there is the technology for it. It's just that you need to have a better director, producer, and coordinator to how to put it up together. And it can actually look pretty decent. Looks pretty right. The problem with the adaptation now, there's only a few of them that actually were successful, I believe. Alita Battle Angel was successful, but that actually had the backings of from the director who did Avatar, and people would also say the Ghost in the Shell live adaptation was good. People liked it. Scarlett Johansson into like seeing it and stuff like that. People kind of agree with it. We've also watched Detective Pikachu, and that actually looked pretty good. If you ask me, I mean, the Pokemon, they did a real good job. And if they could do this with Detective Pikachu, imagine whatever kind of movie that you want to have for a Pokemon movie. It doesn't have to be with Ash or Red, Blue, Green, whatever from Pokemon Adventures. Why not just do Mystery Dungeon?
Mm-hmm.
Have a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon right there and just have some people voicing over Pokemons. You can't go wrong with that. That's for sure. So that's how it kind of argue with not all adaptation are bad. It's just Hollywood just really messes us up.
And I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, and from what I was saying is basically, I mean, talking about like the time travel ones. One, yes, they are 90% written badly. But it's also, I mean, I feel like you would lose some of the magic from not having that animation. You know, like the thing is this: the only way you make up for it is having a perfect story. Because if your story is damn near perfect, nobody cares. And I mean, obviously, me, I like to nitpick from time to time. So I would still be like, well, I love the animation from The Girl Who Left the Time with the art style. I love that better. But if the story stands up to it and they find the right tricks, the right, tricks that they've done time and time again with other very successful movies, then it could work. I just feel like we lose some of its magic.
Like for example, I want to add to what you're saying. For example, Premiere or the perfect thing, Studio Trigger. Studio Trigger is known for their animation. Their story is not always perfect. It's very predictable at times, but their stories always end with a giant mecha or some type of alien invasion or space or some type of thing at the end for any craziness. So if you haven't watched anything of Premiere or BNA and the Studio Trigger, you should, because that's how they end. But they're known for the animation. So if you try to put Premiere live action, how the hell can you do that when they're known for that craziness color? So you need a director that's crazy like that. And for me, who comes out is the director of Mad Max Fury Road, is the director of other Transformers, is my boy Michael Bay. A lot of explosion. Premiere, a lot of explosion, a lot of fire. So you need to have a person that involves the same style of animation or story effects with the type of cinematography that goes with that style to put it in live action. You cannot just slap any director and put the name on it just because the name of the director. You need to go with similar style with the similar effects that could live up to the same love and passion that was put in Premiere for for example, the girl that lead through the town, like you said, or Red Storm, same thing. Those type of films, if you want to put it as live action, it needs the same love and affection as the same director that could put those films in the high for it to come out in the States or wide as well.
You know what also helps a better experience with anime movie compared with the live action? There's actually a full-on orchestra playing music, like original music made for the anime movies. Where instead, with like live action, they'll probably buy songs from Flowrider, or they'll probably buy songs from buy licensings from 50 Cent, or they buy from a different rappers. I say, if you remember with Aquaman, you know the entire music soundtrack did not fit at all for that movie.
Yep.
And usually, this music helps the experience for watching a movie, regardless of animation and adaptation.
But at the same time, sometimes when it comes to music for those big budget films, like the score for DC MCU is not always the choice of the director, because they don't have all the same. It's a studio. What makes them have more money and to have the film much faster is either A, give the score of the artist to give them a year to make a score for each single section of the film, or you give them 60 to 80% time to make a score for each of the good parts, and then they just have to license 20 million or maybe 30 million dollars to just, like you said, license set up a 50 Cent song, set up a song, Flowrider or anything like that.
It just didn't work.
It just helps them save money. It's not the best choice, but sometimes it's not always a director's choice. That's why you have to play smart of who, if you're gonna bring that film to the States to have for the US and worldwide as live action, you need the actual people that know and put the same love and passion as much as, because if you're gonna see, for example, Your Name or plus Weather Review, you need to have some really good cinematography, some good sound effects, and also when it comes to sound effects, like that is important because, for example, in Weather Review, there's a lot of raindrops, there's a lot of background noise, the gun at the end. Those type of things are important to hear and listen well. But if you become lazy and not put those type of sound effects or score the whole type of tension in a live action, it's gonna feel very underwhelming. It's not the same love and passion that you put in the same type of animation.
I completely agree. But then again, not everybody is like with Makoto Shinkai with Weathering You. Literally have his own band to help do an entire music soundtrack for the entire thing. But then again, they have a chemistry where they both work well with each other, where if one feels like the story is so very good, the band will up their take on the music. And when the director hears the music, he will up his take on the story of the movie. It's like better encouragement of both sides. Not every movie and every can have that kind of relationship where they want to put in their love and work into put it together to make it even better for the viewers. But then again, if you want me to give you examples of bad sound, the Blood of Zeus, like that had a horrible sound effect. Like it just nothing worked for that, and just
that was probably one of my biggest. And I haven't done a review yet. You know, I don't know if the people listening is waiting for me to do it. I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm yelling. But I haven't.
Very disappointing show.
It's very disappointing.
It's very disappointing. And that's the first things. That's one of the first things I recognize is just how mundane the sound is. It's nothing feels lasting, heavy. Like it doesn't feel really weighty. Like just swinging around paper swords, or when they're clashing together. Like I think even the lightning doesn't even feel like lightning. Like when you think of lightning, you think of like someone's gonna shake your TV, like crash, like it's really gonna have an effect. And it's just like
I'll tell you, I help defend you even more. Even the physical hand-to-hand combat. How come the sound of him punching sounds exactly the same thing that he's been punching punching meat? That's like, wait, what the fuck? You mean he's been punching with right arm this entire time? But you're seeing left and right punches, and so like, wait, what? You know they sound completely different, right? When you like put in the physical force into weight and stuff. But nope, it's just like
I'm just
what?
I'm just happy that Powerhouse Studio, out of the 3 shows they have done, Castlevania,
But
Seis Manos, and also Blood of Zeus, they have Castlevania a hit home run. Seis Manos is a half for some
meh.
people.
It was meh
maybe
to me. No,
it's
it
a
didn't really
meh,
work
it's a
for me.
meh.
It did not
It
work
was
for me.
it wasn't an anime.
It was not even a good one either.
Oh no, I know, but that's why I say it's half because most people like it, but it's not great. At least that's something. At least
But
it's a solid 7 or a good 6. That's not bad. That's a good score. But when it comes to Blood of Zeus, it's like below a 5 for most people, and that's very disappointing because that's literally
Except for
your
Rotten
third.
Tomatoes.
But how you
Yeah.
know is that they've been trying to boost its ratings and watch views by saying, oh, people who've worked on Castlevania did this. We're the same studio who did Castlevania, so like there's a good chance that this Western animation could be good. Nope, it just failed horribly.
To kind of transition to what we were saying and kind of compared to what Blood of Zeus is, that this is where you say Blood of Zeus animation not great overall, but you have to give props to the still shots of the background. In some shots, when it comes to close up of Zeus, or when it comes to the whole city of the crown of Olympus, when you just think of the shots itself, not with the whole story or the whole animation of fights and everything, but we could say we love the shots of the art itself, and that's why I give props to Powerhouse Studio. They do amazing. But this animation overall, Blood of Zeus, felt very disappointing. But if you're trying to
Well,
say,
what if you compared it to like one of the talking about like techniques, compare it to one of the actual Greek movies that have come out, the live action ones. I can't think of one on top of my head. There's like 5 of them that came out.
Perseus or there was
Percy Jackson films, they have done well, and then
Percy Jackson looked horrible. What are you talking about? Percy
No,
Jackson looked horrendous.
I said it's not done well, but I'm just giving you a under Greek
example.
film that's like
Some examples. Like I mean, Hercules, I wouldn't say was that good either. I'm sorry, Hercules.
Hercules the cartoon or Hercules the live action.
Live
Hercules
action.
with the Rock.
The
Oh
Rock.
no.
Yeah.
That wasn't like there wasn't really many that was good to compare of. Did they ever make the Odyssey? They're probably like back in like the 60s and 70s. They
60s,
probably
70s, yeah. That's probably an Odyssey movie.
An Odyssey, and I think that was okay and decent. But I mean, that's like during the time of like Baywatch and other shows. That's like I guess like you don't have the highest expectation, but at least you know the actors that played them and stuff like that.
We have Clash of Titans. We also have Wrath of Titans. The
Yes,
legendary
Clash of Titans.
Okay,
Hercules.
those are good.
Wonder Woman counts because that's technically
Okay, yeah.
part
Wonder Woman, I would say.
No.
Well,
Don't give
actually,
Wonder
no.
Woman.
Actually, no. I can't.
Don't
Yeah,
give
I
him
can't.
Wonder Woman.
Because DC Film just gave them that huge budgets and money and that sort of stuff. So you know,
But in the comics, that's technically, if you want to consider the topic we're doing right now, that's technically a comics adaptation. If you want to technically count that in the current topic we're doing on this show.
we're gonna go there. We're touching comics. Are we gonna touch Marvel now too? Are we gonna touch Justice League? We're gonna touch Avengers? No.
We were going to touch comics later, but you bringing it up now.
Okay.
I'm just saying, have you heard the OST of Wonder Woman? That's a GOAT OST. The score of
great.
that?
Yeah, you're not lying. I mean, okay, so we can kind of move over. So I want to move into kind of the purpose of a live action adaptation, anime cart to comic book, with that. And there's the purpose of it, right? So since you brought up Wonder Woman, we might as well just keep talking about it. And the purpose of it, in my opinion, is to do things that either wasn't done in the book or to enhance it in some way, shape, or form. Now, something like Wonder Woman is one of the best examples. I think people overrate the movie, but I do think it was a really good movie. Something like Wonder Woman, where it did a really good job with the character, right? And it's in a way of saying it, it was its own, just like how the MCU is its own.
Actors made it their own kind of character, like with Robert Downey Jr. He is Iron Man. You always see him as Iron Man. Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury. You're never gonna see any other Nick Fury that's gonna look different. Now with Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, you can't see anybody else that can be Wonder Woman except like maybe back in the original with TV show Wonder Woman. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Where the actors are the other are the characters of themselves. Even Deadpool, even
Even Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds like revolutionized the character of Deadpool, who was already a goofball, was already crazy in the comics, but now Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is its own Deadpool. You know, because the MCU isn't. It's not Earth 616, and they've made that abundantly clear. It's its own universe. It's its own separate place in the timeline, and it's only successful because in these live action adaptations, like Sam was saying, they made the characters their own and added different depths and levels to them, in which you don't always see in the comics.
For sure. For like Hugh Jackson and Wolverine, you can never find a different Wolverine look unless it's like Hugh Jackson anymore.
Yes and no, because like that's what I say yesterday on the podcast. Like it's like the late John Schnepp have said that the way I see the MCU or the DCU or however they want to call it, these type of universe that they have kind of established themselves, it's the what if comics. It's like the what if scenarios that then they're not the Earth 1, Earth Prime, or the 616, but they're the what ifs universe that if is a whole different story. Like if you see Civil War, that's not the Civil War from the comics, because at the end of the film, Spider-Man says his whole identity in the comics, but in the movies, Spider-Man comes out, hey, I am Spider-Man. So technically, it's not the same version of the story, but it's just adapted differently with different measures of story. The same thing for Endgame, the same thing for Infinity War. As much as we love the stories, it's not going to be adapted differently. They say that in the future, they're going to do sequel wars. But guess what? With sequel wars, we need Captain America. But once they do sequel wars, it's going to be different with different characters to replace Captain America since he's not there. Or they could come back years from now. So at the end of the day, it's all adapted differently.
That's the thing is the point is it is adapted differently, but Marvel does a better job than DC of staying as close to the source material as possible.
I agree.
They just have a better leader to guide them. They have they have John Feige. Kevin Feige. Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I said John. They have Kevin Feige to lead. In the Warner Brothers studio, nobody really leads. It's just all of them trying to make money and have the podcast. Justice League could have been the best box office of worldwide, but they messed up where they need to have a Justice League .2. That's sad. As much as I'm excited for Zack Snyder film, it's sad that they have to have a version 2 just to have a better success for that film.
Which is it's questionable if it's going to have a better success, because
it will. There's no way.
I think it's questionable because the average movie watcher isn't going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like just Justice League. Because it was never going. This Zack Snyder's version was never going to release in studios because it's 4 hours long. It's getting released at hour intervals. The average watcher isn't going to see that, and the thing is that's why the MCU as it is, because it wasn't appealing 100% to Marvel comics or Marvel cartoon fans. It was doing like 50% them and then 50% the average watcher. How can we bridge that gap? And they did a good job bridging it. I think the Zack Snyder's version is going to do fine.
It's going to do fine, but it's also important by word of mouth. It's like, for example, of how we tell each other in the community on Twitter or within friends, within Discord, we tell each other, hey, I recommend this manga you should read. I recommend this anime you should watch because it's good, because it comes from this studio, because it comes from this director that did this. Oh, you know what? I'll watch that. It just depends on word of mouth and how well adapted, like how each hour is going to be done. It depends on word of mouth how it's going to be next year when we tell our friends, our family, our cousins, and then they tell their friends, family, cousins. That's how it's all word of mouth. And plus, it's all about social media, the news outlet of how they also do the word of mouth as well.
But yeah, I mean, if they really plus again, it's also behind in the HBO Max paywall, which is not expensive, but you know how people are, they don't want to pay for that. So again, we'll see how well it does. I personally think it'll do that well, but just like talking about the purpose of live action adaptation, you have those two extremes within the DC and the DCU and the MCU, well, the DCEU and the MCU, just with how the purpose of a live action adaptation isn't necessarily remaking the work word for word. That's not what the purpose is. The purpose is to give it new life, and I think the MCU has been perfect in doing that.
But it, like what I said and what you said just now, is that it depends who's the one leading the charge. For example, if right now what's going on with what's going on with Netflix, One Piece is being made, right? But we only know a few people who's behind it. But do we know if it's gonna be good? We don't know, because right now track record of live actions is not that great. But it just depends if the people behind it has the passion and the knowledge of One Piece, East Blue, the whole arcs of Luffy, Zoro, and these characters. If it's lead by good people, just like the
Well,
MCU.
Oda's a part of it.
Yeah, and plus Oda's was part of it. So if there's people that's part of, like, before Rip for Stan Lee used to be part of the MCU. He used to, Kevin Feige always used to talk to Stan Lee and ask him questions like, hey, is it cool if I do this with this storylines and everything? And Kevin Feige always got approval for Stan Lee. So let's see if Oda put in his approval stamp and him guiding the storyline for this One Piece live action, there could be a success. If not, it's gonna be like the DCEU, where out of the 10 films of the DCEU, 3 or 4 out of the average audience loves it, and 6 or 7 of the films where it's mixed. But if you say the MCU, out of 10 films, 8 or 9 out of the average audience loves it. So it could be half a half of where the audience can enjoy the live action. Like I said, gives the new light and audience.
Yeah. That's but yeah, that's the thing with an adaptation. But that's the thing with adaptation when you have, like, when we talk about something like to kind of get into like the anime versus anime adaptations, we talk about something like Dragon Ball Z. Something that the purpose of live action adaptation, as we said, is to breathe kind of new life and to give average watchers or people who aren't mega fans or even casual fans something that will introduce them to the series, and something that will be as enjoyable as reading or watching the anime. And that's something that doesn't happen with that. Like, the purpose is lost. DBZ was a money grab. It was because it held nothing from the lore, the world, the wonder that is Dragon Ball Z. So like we have those those two very different edges of the spectrum, in which we have the MCU and we have movies like Iron Man 1, and then we got Dragon Ball Z, and we're like, Iron Man 1, but like this is not the same Tony Stark we know, but it's goddamn close. And it's Robert Downey Jr. has created his own Iron Man. While in Dragon Ball Z, we got, this is not Goku. Who the fuck is this? This is not even close to Goku. Like, he holds nothing that gives us even the believability that he is Goku. So like the purpose is lost.
I definitely agree with you with Evolution, and that's like the movie that we'll never talk about ever existed, because that was just atrocious. That's like white people stealing what Japanese people had, and now they made this, and it just got awful. And there's a lot of bad live adaptation movie that came into existence. There were not besides Dragon Ball Evolution, there was also oh my god, I know there's like a huge more than enough Avatar, The Last Airbender.
I was about to say, do you need help to kind of remember the other worst movie in the world?
Garbage. But that's the thing. It took away. Oh, go ahead. Okay, I can talk about it for hours. Go ahead, Vash, before I start.
I was gonna say is that it's another film that's being made by Netflix. Netflix likes to give new light.
We're talking about the original film by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, I know. Whereas
Oh.
like M. Night Shyamalan give his own take, but how can you give your own take when you yourself is taking the wrong scar of Zuko on the wrong side? When you're giving the character of Aang a whole different personality that don't even is the same or similar to the character he was in the original cartoon show, and it just did not work well when you just trying to put the whole 2 hour film of the whole water arc saga, the whole water tribe story and everything. Like you didn't touch of the kingdom storyline, and you're trying to force Appa to look the way he looked. Like Appa's feet is supposed to be some type of fat feet, and those type of feet was all skinny. Like I felt like I had some scars watching that film.
Like
That's true.
there were some movies that did not even portray too well from not anime. That's like cartoon shows, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live adaptation. It wasn't good.
Well, those weren't that bad. I actually did enjoy. I actually did enjoy the TMNT live action.
Yes,
even though
I didn't hate it. I agree.
they weren't bad, and
The
also
one with Michael Bay.
Come on,
like
come
I
on,
said,
come on.
they were not
He found the essence of the turtles. Okay,
correct.
Okay. We can argue all day about how horrible the story was, but I will say this: Mikey, Leo, Donatello, and Raphael, that they found the essence of them characters. It felt like I was watching the turtles. Everything else was garbage, but the turtles, the turtles. Good.
All right. Then how was Shredder and how was Splinter?
Well, I said the turtles, man. I didn't say I said the turtles.
And when you watch the cartoons, you see the turtles. As much as you love Master Splinter, you see Master Splinter throughout the 22 minutes of an episode. You see him 2 minutes. The rest of the episode, you see him the four
right.
turtles.
Point
and then
taken.
You see,
But
and
you
then
need
see
the villain.
Hockey
You need the villain to be also like look good and actually plays a great villain. You need a good Shredder into whatever Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show or movie. You need a good Shredder or
But
Krang.
that adds to what we were saying in the beginning. It goes from live action, from cartoon or anime to live action. How can you bring it up to the same audience that love what they saw about TMNT to now? Like, how can you bring the same story, the same character, but you also do not bring the good villain with it? Because that also matters. For example, for MCU, they always have good characters, good heroes, Captain America, Tony Stark, and everything, but they always fall short on their villains. So sometimes in story, you always fall short in one one of the aspects.
But to be honest, let's be honest. I think Hollywood just does its things with poor adaptations of a lot of stuff. Peter Rabbit, Inspector Gadget.
Oh damn! I forgot about Inspector Gadget.
Right? I know, like it's been years, and I thought it was actually pretty good back in that time. Back then, Garfield. Yeah, it was weird.
Garfield was fun though. It was weird, but it was fun. Can't say it wasn't fun.
If you remember, Scooby Doo, back in the 2002.
Oh, wait. Scooby Doo. Okay, we're not gonna talk about that. Okay.
I'm gonna bring one, and I'm so shocked.
I say this though. What's her name? Not Daphne. What's the other one?
Velma.
Velma.
She was bad as fuck though. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, y'all got her to play Velma.
How do you have Velma looking better and better than Daphne when Daphne in the cartoons was supposed to look better?
Right. A girl wearing an orange sweater, looking good, looking better than the girl with just the purple dress. Like, it's just like, wait,
when she came out in the spandex with the full spandex suit, I was like, ugh. We can show that Velma. Ooh, jinkies.
But also one more that was live action, and that was weird because we saw it as always as a book and everything, and cartoons was also Cat in the Hat. Cat in the Hat as a live action was weird.
Very creepy.
I mean, if I wanted to go even more back then, remember Buffy and Vampire Slayer, Sarah Michelle Gellar? That was actually pretty. Back then, it wasn't that bad, but if you were to watch it now, it's really cringy. Like, same with like Angel and stuff like that.
And if you want to talk about something also really bad, Resident Evil movies.
Oh. Oh,
They said fuck the story. They said fuck anything that has to do with the story. We're gonna do whatever we want.
But then that goes to what I'm saying is that was also the director in the studio. The director did not care about the story. He just cared, or she, I don't know who directed it, or which one, but they just care about more about the camera shots, the camera angles, the slow-mo, the editing. They care more about those to have the film look cool for them. It was like a Michael Bay style film where all they care was the jump, the action sequence. They didn't care about the actually bringing the story from the great games to actually bring it to a great movie adaptation. And that's where you lose the story because of that reason.
Mm-hmm. That's true though. Like when it's like that's but my fault. Go ahead.
I was gonna try to bring it back to more anime live action that did not do so well. Like, but you can continue what you're saying. Lost.
Oh, I was gonna say like I was thinking the next like the newest one that's coming out was Monster Hunter World.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Oh
saving...
no! That's a train wreck. That's a train wreck. 100% train wreck.
The train is still on the tracks. It hasn't even dropped yet. It hasn't wrecked yet.
It's wrecked. It's wrecked, bro. The only thing that looks good is the CG monsters, and that's it. And then you have the weapons too. It's like, wait, why? Just why?
I see. I saw somebody tweet out that there was comic books that was similar to this. That had the same story with like people using regular guns. Like it was different. But my point is that like it's the same idea where it feels as though, and this is come with also Americanization, I guess, where we kind of take these obscure properties within anime or video games, something like that, and they become more focused on the prettiness, how pretty it looks, and not necessarily the content. Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
I agree. No, I understand, because when Hollywood was about to give us that horrible adaptation of Sonic the Hedgehog with the weird looking Sonic, the fans bullied the shit out of that. That's just to make Sonic so much looking better, and it got pushed to Valentine's Day, which was a good option, good deal. Finally, like that was like the most, actually one of the best video games movie adaptation.
It was. I think it broke Detective Pikachu's record for the most profitable video game adaptation in history.
It did. It definitely did.
It was. I still haven't seen it yet, but I need to watch it. I'm waiting for the second. I'm waiting for the second one to come out. But the thing is, that's the thing. It's like when you have these adaptations, and something that we see fail a lot of times in adaptations, they don't keep the same essence of the originals, which again is why the MCU is popular. The MCU is, because even you can say that I can name the 100 different differences between Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark and comic Tony Stark. But at the heart of both characters is Tony Stark. He has that essence, that feeling that gives you Tony Stark. Same thing with Captain America. Same thing, all those. It still gives it to you. It's also why people have problems with DC movies and like stuff like Batman vs Superman, where Batman's killing, and people are like, that feels like it veers off the essence of who Batman really is, and all the stuff like that. So so one thing we have down here also is Death Note as like an anime versus anime adaptation.
I was gonna bring that up for like bad, poor live action.
Very poor. And the thing is, we have Ryuk who is phenomenal. Ryuk is the best part of the movie because it feels like Ryuk. Like it doesn't. Like when he talks, how he acts, everything like that. That's Ryuk. That's Ryuk. You know what I mean? You can't convince me that's not him. And even though I don't even hate L. I don't hate L. I think L could be better, definitely. But I don't hate L. But Light, that's not Light. That is not Light. He's too emotional, too fucking stupid. That's not Light. You lost the essence of the character, which takes away from this adaptation.
I would not know. I have not seen Death Note either the anime or the live action.
Wait, Vash, you haven't watched the anime yet? That's a travesty, bro.
I've tried 5 times. I cannot pass by 5 or 10 episodes. I can't pass it. I just can't get into it.
I would just say watch until L dies. Then you don't gotta watch anything else. Fuck Neo.
That's all you really need.
A lot of people tell me to actually read it instead because I could probably enjoy the art and everything else. So I might read it actually. I might give the reading part a chance since a lot of people tells me the story is good and everything. So I might give the reading part a chance more than the anime. I've tried the anime. I just can't get into it, but I might do the manga instead.
Oh, Death Note. I can't be mad at you for that, but Death Note, that anime, that man Light is fucking diabolical. Fucking diabolical.
And I'm like, I would not understand.
You just
when
he kills the detective in front of the detective's face, detective who figured out the last second it was him. And then how they animated that? She was walking up to heaven. Oh my! That shit was so hard. I was like, "Light, you crazy ass nigga." Light's a different animal. He's a different animal. But like the live action just does a bad job. Live action makes him whiny. It makes him too introspective. Light is a man of action, believe it or not. And I'm thinking of it now. It's really true. He's a man of action. That man says, "You know what? I'm gonna start killing people," and he just does it. He doesn't even think about the consequences. He's like, "Yo, I got this death note. I'm gonna change the world. Killing people. Next episode, dead, murder." And he's just okay with it. He's chilling, relaxing, giving Ryuk apples and shit. And in the movie, he's not like that. And even when they bring in the movie, Light, the problem is he's a megalomaniac. He cares more about himself than anybody else in the world. He begins to believe that he is God. Right? And in the movie, we don't get that. In the movie, it's like, yo, this isn't Light Yagami. This isn't him. This man's a pussy. All right, Light's not like this. Light would not let himself get tricked by a pussy. Okay? He don't care about none of that. He don't care about none of that. this nigga Light getting transfixed on pussy? What? He made Shorty trade half of her life, the rest of her life, so that he could continue killing niggas. How savage that is! He said he literally made her trade half of her life force so he could keep killing niggas and made her think that he liked her until he actually started caring about her. But that's not like 20. That's like 50 episodes down the line when he's actually like, "Oh, actually, I kind of care about this shorty." But before that, he didn't give a fuck about her. But in the movie, they make you think that this man's all savvy for some pussy. Like, no.
They really did western it eyes up.
Like, they made it some tragic love story or some shit. Like, don't give a fuck about her. Like, who the fuck is she? Like,
she's funny. But yeah, Netflix was in charge of that, so it's kind of hard to give Netflix the power to do live action adaptation, that sort of thing. Because even though like there was some when it first started, there was some hope for the last Airbender anime series, live action series, not a whole movie and not a whole new anime or anything like that. But when the original creators just left because they couldn't agree, that's how you know this hope is done. Hope is gone. Netflix is gonna screw this up.
And the thing is like when the creators backed out because Netflix was going away from what they wanted to do creatively, it's just like, and then seeing like some stuff that I don't know if it's true or not, and I probably shouldn't, but I don't know if it's true or not. People talking about how they said they wanted to make it more adult and more older, something like that. I'm like, ain't nobody want that shit. Ain't nobody want that. Like,
we want childhood. We want nostalgia. We want like what we grew up with watching.
Exactly. And I'm like, if you're going to do that, then say you're doing from Zuko's story. Say you're doing from the end of the cartoon with Zuko's story. That might be a little more grown up because they're rebuilding an empire. Okay. And there might be love and romance in that because this is after everything has happened and we're on a different part of their journey in which they are becoming adults. That's different. But if you're doing it from the beginning, my nigga Aang is 12. What the fuck? Like, what's going on here? All right. I mean, and yeah. We all know that homeboy, that boy, what is his name?
Zuko,
No. Aang Katara, and what's his name?
Sokka.
Sokka. We all know Sokka had hoes. Okay, we all
does
know
have
it.
hoes.
Yeah, that man got hoes. But we don't need
But
to
we
see
don't
him
wanna
do
watch
anything. We don't want to see him do anything.
We
with
wouldn't
these
want to watch a
hoes.
show of him doing stuff though.
No, we don't want that. It just feels like they're really going to take away from the essence of Avatar, and that's what's going to ruin this series. This is going to make people tune out because this isn't some Teen Nick bullshit. You know, like we don't want that. This
We
isn't.
don't
This
want.
isn't.
Don't Degrassi up the Avatar series. Is all I'm saying.
I was about to say
right?
Degrassi too. I was about to say.
Don't Degrassi up my Avatar: The Last Airbender thing, man.
No, we don't want that. Oh my gosh. But just to move on, keep going. Famous anime adaptations for liked ones. There's actually no anime adaptation I can say I wholeheartedly liked. I've literally never rewatched any anime adaptation.
I think. Well, did you watch Detective Pikachu?
I haven't seen it yet. I
So-
have not seen it.
So
Those
for me,
okay. So do Detective Pikachu, do Sonic the Hedgehog. I
And
think
Alita
they
Battle
can.
Angel.
Alita Battle Angel, yeah.
So I guess Sam just named three of them. So the four like anime adaptation or manga adaptations: Alita Battle Angel, Detective Pikachu, Sonic,
Ghost in
and
the
Ghost in the
Shell?
Shell.
Ghost in the
Those
Shell,
four
yeah.
are to me
That,
the best
I say
ones I
I
like.
guess Ghost in the Shell was like a 50-50. Like you can either like it or not because it got more hate than it really liked.
Yeah. People had a lot of problems with Scarlett Johansson being the lead character.
Hey, I don't have no problems.
I had no
Nigga,
problem.
I had
I
no
made
problems.
it was still enjoyable. I had a good time watching and everything else. It was fun for what it was. And seeing Ghost in the Shell, even though I have some Blu-rays and I still never seen one Ghost in the Shell, and seeing this was amazing.
I mean,
So
I
those-
can definitely see a live adaptation of Akira, and I think that's still being in work or something.
Yeah,
Like,
I did hear about that. But the thing is, I can see that being successful. I can see that being successful.
that can work. Like that
Yeah.
that kind of thing can work because that's a lot more sci-fi, and you can actually go more crazy with that sort of thing. So at least there's some hope right now. At least they've learned to make it better with their live adaptation. But you know, Hollywood does what Hollywood does best, and that's ruining almost any kind of childhood shows if you think about it. Alvin, and they've been doing that for a long time. But Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Scooby Doo's, the Flintstones, they messed it up. It's just ugh.
But that's true. But I mean, it could be good. It just all depends on who's. I forget who's behind it for the Akira one. But I mean, Akira. But the thing is, it's a better choice. It's a better choice for that adaptation because of how it's centered. And real quick, dislike. We're talking about Death Note DBZ. There was an Attack on Titan one. I saw the preview for and film things. It just looks horrible to me, so that's a dislike. But anyway, so kind of real quick, I want to talk about best anime suited for adaptions versus the worst anime suited for adaptions, right? So first, I want to talk about the best, right? The ones that I think, we think, could be really done really well, right? So my number one, and y'all know I love this series, is Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass could be the thriller, the mystery thriller of the season, of the deck, of the year. It could be done really well because there's very, and my thing is this: there's a lot of good anime that really touch on some really interesting premises, and they touch on sci-fi, they touch on these other elements, but they're not so far away from reality that they would take necessarily up like an insane amount of CG or anything like that. Psycho-Pass is one of them. Psycho-Pass is
I could see that because there's some kind of there are movies that's almost like of Psycho-Pass, like Minority Report.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they can I think that can work well. It's just a better story written and better way of telling Minority Report. So I could definitely see Psychopaths a good adaptation if they play their cards correctly.
Yeah, and the thing is, you could do Psychopaths. Honestly, you could do season 1. You could honestly do season 1 in the movie. You honestly could. I mean, there are some, and the thing is, you'd have to really be picky and choosy over which episodes you kind of skip past or blend. You know what I mean? But season 1 itself is a self-contained story. You don't like. And the thing is, and that's the best. I think that's one of the best parts about Psychopaths. I mean, you can continue watching the season 2 and season 3 again. I like season 3. Me and Bo really liked it, but season 1, you could stop at the end of season 1 and you feel fulfilled. You don't have to watch more, and that's one of the best parts about Psychopaths. And it could be done with maybe 6-hour-long episodes, which honestly might be too much, or 1 2.5-hour movie. Both be done well.
I mean, there are Psychopaths movie nows. Like they've made movie adaptation. No, I think they made they could do 3 episodes per movie, because I think what they do is they do it by case by case, this thing sort of stuff. Which it's like making almost like a Law and Order kind of detective show into a movie in a sort of way. It can work.
It could definitely work, because I mean, even though it goes case by case, when you're watching the show, there is a really big, really cool, really great main plot going underneath it, which is again one of the most best parts of the show. But it's like you could, in each case, kind of opens up the main plot even more. But if you really picked and choose really the most important ones, the cases, and then kind of skipped over or kind of blended in the less important cases, but the ones that added maybe 1 or 2 parts to the plot, you could have a really good, low-key kind of murder mystery kind of thing going on, especially with how it works with the people they're working with being criminals. And I think, again, it's an amazing premise in itself. But either that or a series of movies, like you said, one of the two.
It could work.
For me to add to what you guys were saying, for best suited for adaptation and worst anime, I used to think before, over the past couple of years, I don't like my mindset from seeing Avatars and seeing Dragon Ball Evolution, seeing all these bad poor adaptations and not even good ones sometimes, with TMNT, like we spoke about Bash Shredder and everything. And I have come to realize that if we're gonna have adaptation from One Piece and everything, Netflix is doing it right. Instead of doing movies, we have a 10 or 8 episode or 6 episode to The Witcher. If you're gonna adapt a game or adapt a series that's a long running or it has a lot of source material, so like Psychopaths, Trigon or Gundam or any other series that we have here, I believe the best way sometimes is, instead of doing a movie adaptation, a 6 episode, 8 episode, even a 10 max suits better for the source material and for the audience itself, where we could just take our time by kind of absorbing the source material and the story, but also acknowledging the adaptation of live action that they actually put the effort for, instead of putting in 2 hours and rushing it because of the studio or because the director trying to half-ass it. But if we have a 6 episode, 8 episode, I feel like there's more love and passion for it, because they're actually putting the whole money and plus trying to divide it. Everything else, I feel like, will be much cleaner and better.
A movie, an anime that I think that could do well in anime and movie, or in the series show, Dr. Stone. I could definitely see Dr. Stone do pretty well in live adaptation, because there's no
100%
CG.
agree.
There's no CG needed. You can literally, I guess maybe if you want to Suzuka's fight styles and speed and whatnot, and fighting a whole saber-toothed tiger kind of thing. But if they were to make a movie of the first season of Dr. Stone, I could think they could do it. Everything could be literally real life, real legit, almost like a History Channel kind of movie that you could never believe that existed. That's actually true and very helpful and pretty well knowledge into this.
Well, to kind of add to what you're saying, Sam, is that they do need CG into some episodes, but they're saving money in the budget, so they don't need to spend a lot of money in the budget and actually could save it for other stuff. Like for example, in the chemicals, CG animation for the stuff that you cannot do it in the actual on screen, but you could do it in the whole CG aspect. And I agree, Doctor Stone
They can
could be
fake the
great for a
look.
good 8 episodes.
They can fake the look, but use the real ingredients. Like they could just put some water and food coloring and make it and have heat it a Bunsen burner and all that stuff, and just heat it up, making it look like you have a whole lab and mad scientist kind of thing. I think you can just kind of fake it, but also make it real, where you are using the real ingredients of making like a telephone or to make glasses or
Oh, for sure.
oh yeah, you can do a lot with.
I
And
mean, yeah, a lot of good practical, explosions. A lot of practical stuff would look good in that instead of relying on CG.
of course, and plus to add to what the best anime suited for a long series, I definitely agree. Trigon. Trigon could be just like John Carter, that was made way too early, but it could be perfect for a 6 to 10 episodes of a series, but 2 seasons, and you can literally tell the story of a 26 episode into 2 seasons and have it in a 6 to 10 episode, and it will be sweet because it's Western and it's sci-fi, and that could be possible. You don't have a lot of background, you just have a lot of dust, a lot of debris, a lot of mountains in the background, and you could just have a little Western style clothes. And Vash don't always shoot the gun all the time. And when he does, that's the only time you just have to do a bit of CG / animation there. But other than that, it's a lot of comedy, a bit of action, but that would be perfect for a little 6 episodes to 10, 2 season of a series, and that would be sweet.
I mean, I think about like you're talking about, Trigon. Trigon could be a show that is, I would say, 70% practical, because even when we get into the deeper, parts of the story, the CG is only going to be needed for when he fights, when he has that one fight with the big guy and that one town, when he, the flashbacks of when he destroyed the town, and then when he fights his brother. My God, that's like the only few times I can really think that they really 100% have to, overdo it with the CG. But for the most part, Trigun is like 75% practical, what's the word? Practical. I'm thinking explosions, not explosions. What is it called?
Of the word
Effects?
is practical effects, correct?
Yeah, practical effects. Yeah.
And that'd be easy. That'd be easy for the audience for them to do it, because the only one that you might have to add a lot of bullets, a lot of CG, is just Wolfwood. But Wolfwood has a whole freaking machine gun as a freaking cross, so that makes sense for him. But overall, like you said, it's just a good 70% of practical effects, and hopefully I could do that film, or sorry, series in the future. That's my goal.
I think Trigun, especially one of the older ones, that could be fantastic. Another one I had down, I'll say the two I had down for like, Trigun's one of the fantasy ones. It's one of the bigger ones. So I have one really spectacular one, and two other ones I think that are gimmies. These two are gimmies. These two are ones that could be made by accident, and kind of in a way. I have 91 Days, which is a classic mobster revenge film. It is a classic. This is something that we have seen done before premise-wise, but 91 Days just does it in its own way. This is a gimme. This is something that can be made today, and 91 Days would have to be a series. I wouldn't even need 2 seasons. Give me 10 episodes, hour each. Boom, that's 91 Days. Like it's literally a gimme because of its subject matter and how it goes, plus everything else. Gangsta, another one. Could Gangsta be a movie? Gangsta could maybe be a movie. I don't know. Okay, there's too much happens in that to be a movie. Plus, it depends if you go by the manga or the anime, because the anime never finished. So I would say another series type thing. But Gangsta, again, is a gimme. It's something that's based upon reality, but has some really cool added things that could be good done with some CG, some practical effects that could make it look really fantastic. And the last one I have down for like what I think is best. This one a little out there. I don't know if everyone's going to agree with me, but Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans. This is the most down to earth Gundam out of all of them, and the focus shifts 100% from the Gundams to the characters. That means we still have a lot of big CG fights, Pacific Rim style fights and all that stuff like that, but those are no longer the focus. So it allows you more to focus more on the characters and their issues and what they're going through, and leaving back. Even though we're on Mars, we're on different planets and sci-fi and stuff going on like that, I think this could be a really good live action adaptation if someone really took time and took care and really, put love into it.
It depends what they cut out and how much they can fit in within a set amount of time limit. That's why I'm not too sure if a movie is the right choice, because I'm afraid of what they're going to cut out from.
I feel like a series. I feel like a series movies would maybe work, but again, I think
series will work much better for sure.
Series,
because from we all remember, unless you guys forgot, Cowboy Bebop was also going to get an adaptation, and Netflix was working on it. Unfortunately, it got pushed and delayed because unfortunately the lead actor John Cho broke his leg by an accident, and it literally can't continue without Spike within the movie. So that's not gonna be premiering until like 2022, most likely.
Well, I think we'll get winter 2021.
2021 winter next season.
Late fall. Or winter 2021.
Yeah, well, 2022. You mean?
No, you don't think they're hour-long episodes, and we're probably going to get between 6 to 8, probably
around there. And then if it does well, you could do season. It just do seasonal. You could just do arc by arc.
Is that? Come on, and his leg broke 4 months ago?
I think more. Was it during COVID? I forgot. Was it during COVID?
It might not even have been during COVID. All I'm saying is, because a lot of people have started filming again, and and honestly they don't always report on who's filming. Only the really really mainstream stuff. And Cowboy Bebop, no matter how much we love anime and how much it's grown, it still isn't fully mainstream.
Oh, you're right. No, he had the accident literally last year, October 18th, 2019.
Exactly.
Okay. It did happen last year, and they said that he will have to take a year break, or I think 6 months to a year break. So that's why they haven't yet announced if they went back to filming. Unless they have gone back, they haven't mentioned it to the news outlet. And if they are, that's even better. So they could just focus on, just do them. Just do you.
That's why I am saying.
I could definitely agree. You take as much break as you can, because you got to do physical therapy to train to be able to move the same way again. And Cowboy Bebop is like there's a lot of movement within that anime and show. So I guess give John Cho enough time to recover and go through physical therapy, and we'll see what happens if we're gonna if Netflix wants to continue or not. Because the longer they don't premiere it or have it out, the more money it's going to cost them.
I do have a question for you guys.
I'm very scared for that show.
So I have a question. This anime, I think, could be adapted as a live action. I think it could. I see it possible. Is Villain Saga?
Yeah, definitely. Villain Saga could definitely do it.
I definitely can see that. Yeah.
All right. I'm glad you guys agree very fast. Much faster than I expected. I thought you guys were gonna be like maybe.
Much CG you can do unless it's just to intensify the aura, the trauma, like how much you can see from the intensity of.
They don't need to. What you can do that is use a score, soundtrack, and use the camera shots. That's what live action is always success. It depends on your angle, and the director chooses to show and use the score and soundtrack how to focus. I don't know, boy, Ashkelad, Thorkill, Thorfinn, how to get these type of shots to look the way it looks in the anime of the first 24 episodes, and to get it. And actually, Villain Saga can actually work as a movie, as a trilogies, and it could either work as a trilogy or it could either work as a series. It could work either way.
I can see that. I definitely can. For trilogy, yes, but that's if they want to take their time and literally not leave out any details. But then I feel like they're gonna probably change up the story just so that it can fit within this universe and world kind of thing. But yeah, I could definitely see a whole movie of it because I know Vinland Saga is still going and it has many other different storyline and arcs and books and stuff like that. But I don't want like a whole Star Wars thing onto it because that's just gonna that's like milking it too much.
I think we had that show Vikings, and I think if we can do that, and that I heard was really good. I haven't watched it. But I heard it's really
I heard
good.
it was good. I heard.
I think we could do Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to ask that. Like, wait a minute,
It could
Vinland Saga could work very well. So I'm like, that could be actually possible. One other series, next series, a genre that could literally work because we see all the time on the CW, we see it on Fox sometimes, we see on ABC. A genre that could work as live action and be adapted because it kind of is our daily lives is slice of life animes.
Any slice of life anime can work for live action, really. Like Japan,
They did Japan all the time.
Japan made so many like TV shows, series, and movies of based on slice of life because it's all based on actors and their performance and how you want to make it all this nice slice of life, cute romance kind of genre, that sort of thing, though.
Yeah, because slice of life, although it works in animated genre, there's not many. And like even like the issues I had before when I said like the purpose of live action anime adaptations, or no, the difference between animation techniques and live action techniques, you don't really see that in slice of life. Even though I love it, slice of life doesn't have
drama.
It's not okay. Well, no, yes,
there's
but
no
it's not.
They do. It just depends
many...
on which genre. Because if you see Violet Evergarden, that uses anime techniques. They use it on the focus on the camera shots of her hands. They uses the whole cinematography on the way her face, her tears, the way of her emotions. So it depends on which series actually wants to embody and go further than just a regular anime, then actually use techniques of an actual director and the whole cinematography, because it depends if you actually notice those type of skills.
Yeah, and it's like because most slice of life follow a similar art style and animation pattern, but there are a few that step outside of the norm that would be hard to really bring the same essence to the live action screen, to little screen or big screen. So yeah, I agree. Violet Evergarden is definitely one of those where
you could
where Kyo was no, it's not KyoAni. It's is it KyoAni? Yeah, it's KyoAni.
Was the studio?
I'm trying to think of the studio, the Violet Evergarden.
Oh yeah,
Kyoto Animation.
Yeah, KyoAni.
Yes,
yeah, where KyoAni, they put their foot in that. They really they made Violet Evergarden. I don't know. They made her real. You get what I'm saying? Like her animation is so, and there is a lot of good. There's CG in there. The CG littered throughout Violet Evergarden, but it's hard to tell. I mean, every once in a while you see it, but most of the time it's hard to tell. And
that's true.
And that's like the best. That's why KyoAni is one of the goats. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Slice of life is definitely something that can be done because most of it's uniform. Like you, how many times can you really say that you saw a slice of life that was art style, animation, 90% different than most slice of life? So you can't say that often.
True.
So,
I 100% agree that, because one other show that I don't think that could be adapted, because even though it's not really slice of life, it's slice of life, supernatural, and plus psychological, is the series of Monogatari. That show cannot be adapted because it's very director type and plus cinematographer, because a lot of the style is very Japan like, in the jokes to talk about, the stuff to say. So to actually adapt and switch it into a live action would be very difficult, because that one is actually capturing a whole light novel, like the whole anime is capturing a light novel into its story. So that is technically doing a live action itself already, but just into a anime format.
I mean, like it was light novel to anime adaptation or movie adaptations. It could do really well, and we've seen that a lot um, into many other series right now. Currently, even Shield Heroes was based on this light novel before it became the manga and anime series as well. Going back to our conversation of what can actually be a good live action adaptation movie or series, almost any sports anime, you're just gonna have to make it very emotional, like Rocky. And like how motivated you're gonna have to be, how you have to be training, how much of an underdog story that you came up from, that sort of thing. We see that a lot in Hollywood story, like Real Steel. We see that in like Rocky. There's a lot of movies that Hollywood does really well as the underdog story.
Yeah.
Creed, yes.
I was gonna put Haikyuu down, but then I thought about the camera tricks that they do in Haikyuu, and I took it off because I would miss those that we wouldn't maybe be able to see in the anime. But yeah, there's a lot of sports anime that I think could, do Run with the Wind, Stars Align, those new ones that came out. Even Hajime no Ippo would do good.
That's one I would like to see. Hajime no Ippo could work, and I want Rocky to be behind that. If that becomes a live action, I want Rocky to be behind that. He could give his opinion on that very well.
Yeah, you could definitely have good camera shots in there, and if that's absolutely needed, where you need a whole first person angle, it's like you're literally putting a camera on the boxer's head, just like see what they're seeing when it comes to the like fights and stuff like that.
But that's the part that you win with anime, because you don't need to have that first perspective. You could draw that first perspective.
Yeah, you draw it.
And that's the part that you win in anime / manga, because you could just have it visually. You could have it yourself, and then just put it on paper or draw it in the anime format.
But I guess but the thing is, like, if you have the whole camera shots and everything, you actually see everything in real speed, where like you see how fast a real fighter can move, and like how you're seeing it in the movies and portraying it. They're literally slowing it down. Like they're slowing it to like 1/8 of a second or 1/16 of a second, and you see them moving a lot faster than you would see. And these are like the professional fighters that's been trained for this and that sort of stuff. And we know that actors can train that hard. Michael B. Jordan trained extremely hard for Creed, and he did absolutely fantastic. And he had the skills to do it for sure.
One anime I'd like to see live adapted as sports is Kyojo, the booty anime.
That's
I want to
just
see
fan service.
I want to see
that sounds like something like Pornhub would actually do.
I want to see what type of actors will be like, all right, let's go ass to cheeks. Let's go.
I'm telling you, it's just gonna only be like porn stars as the actresses, and they're not great, and they're not all good actresses.
Hey, I'd watch it. Fuck it. You know what I mean? They be fucking booties and shit. They're gonna push them off into some water. Then it gets down to business. I'm with it. Let's go.
I'm with that too. I'm like, all right, Pornhub, if you want to do a live action and get into the business of studio, this is the first film you should adapt. But in honesty, that's not what about the comedy that I just put. One that I'm curious to see if they can actually do it. We haven't seen an actual basketball movie in so long, and I'm curious to know if they can actually do Kuroko no Basket. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Kuroko no Basket?
Yeah. I'm curious to see if that could also be adapted. Like I know that one is really shown it because like some characters have some type of crazy speed out of nowhere. But I'm curious to know that if that could be adapted as a live action.
So if they actually make a movie of that, people's ankles will really break for sure. You're gonna break real ankles with just the camera shots and everything. Because how they move is just really like awkward.
Oh like, yeah, for sure.
Supernaturally awkward, where it's just like he's that specific. His body is a specific way that he does that sort of way, just like how super athletes is like like you are genetically like made for this in like sports or for wrestling or for boxing, that sort of way, and that gives you that special advantage and talent is because you were lucky enough where you were born gifted into that extra talent into it. I mean, it'll better enhance watching. It'll better definitely enhance watching it though, for sure.
I know one sports anime that they cannot do is definitely Baki and plus
No.
Kengan no Shura. They cannot do live action.
I can't consider Baki a sports anime. It's just reckless fighting and brawling.
It's hard to think about it, and I've debated it multiple times in my mind. It is it's a Street Fighter. It's a Street Fighting anime.
It's brawling. It's just brawling.
Sam, it's still Street Fighter type. It's still
but Street Fighting is not a sport.
How you define a sport? You compete to win something.
You compete to win. You win or lose.
It's athletic. It's an athletic activity.
There's a loser and there's a
with
winner.
No matter what. With rulings and stuff with sports.
But yes, but how do you think boxing started years before? There was the way they have a rules now is never started out like that. It used to be just a competition. Now there is a whole pay-per-view. There's a whole ring. There's promos now. It's different. But Baki just makes it like Street Fighter, literally like it, and that cannot be adapted because you cannot have the whole actors breaking bones now.
It can't. No, you're just gonna like.
That's impossible.
You're gonna CG that. You're just gonna like make it like okay, switch to skeleton mode, fake the whole bone breaking, fake this move and that sort of stuff. The athletic, strong, like oh my god, he's Superman strength. For real, that's literally one punched him all the way to the other side of the building. Yeah, you can't really do an adaptation of that for sure, but that's not really a sports anime in general. It's just fighting, just straight up brawl and fight in that sort of way. I would consider more Kengan Ashura of a sports and more of mixed martial arts fighting. Kengan Ashura is more sports with mixed martial arts into fighting styles. Whereas Tsubaki, it's just literally just weird, different, differently named, just generally created into brawling fight.
I disagree with you in the mindset about Baki because they have even said that like some people like in the whole season 2, they have Muhammad Ali Jr. even though he was underused very badly, but they have shown that some of these fighters know different techniques. It's just like it's used differently.
Yeah, I'm not saying techniques are not there, but it's just literally just it's just almost like reckless. It's more reckless than it really is to call it a more sports and contain kind of heavy fighting. You literally have the whole death match fighting where you can literally
that's
kill
how
each
Street
other.
Fighter is, just like everyone said. That's Street Fighter.
That's not sports.
You win and lose. It's a competition at the end of the day.
Competition and competing. Yeah, you want to go back into the whole Coliseum and fighting Romans and everything? Those weren't sports. Those are just entertainment shows that people had that time.
They were gladiator.
That's Olympics. Those were the Olympics.
Okay.
The Coliseum back in the Greek
those
mythology.
Those were actually just entertainment. Those are just their shows and entertainments of what they had.
What do you think? What is football now? What is football? Football is an entertainment.
But it's a sport.
It's still sports. It still has its rules. It still has regulations. It still has its violences and head traumas and that sort of stuff.
Okay. So the gladiators, they had rules. You didn't get to kill them unless the king said you could kill them. So that's a rule. That's a rule right there.
And in Baki, they said no rules for this match. Some people had rules. Some people did it. So some people cheated. Some people play fair and square. Baki played fair and square with some people. Others were just sore losers.
It's just the whole. You love to watch fighting. This is just the best like fighting you can go into where anything goes and no one's really gonna get hurt in real life in that sort of way. If you, it can't be considered sports if literally more people are getting killed every single time, or they have so much more like death. If there's more death leading into these kind of sports, it's really hard to tell can contain this.
People have died in boxing all the time, and there's rules there.
Yeah. People have gone knockout, unconscious, and also in football. There's people that have got unconscious and cannot get back up to play football again after that spear, after that tackle, just because it's football and there's still rules for that. after years of changing the rules and trying to make it safe, and people still get hurt, Sam. So at the end of the day, it's both ways.
I still can't consider a sports stuff. I can't. I agree with you of not being able to have that adaptation, but I can't agree with Baki and everything as a sports of anime in that sort of way.
Okay. All right. So let's finish this up. We run along. Let's finish it up. So yeah, for worst, let's run through this real quick. Worst, I have my first one's One Piece. I'm sorry. I think One Piece. Honestly, I don't think any of the big three are good candidates for live action adaptations. They are too absurd. They are at a level of absurdity that would not make for a good adaptation. It's just that's just my feelings. It's just how I feel. I don't understand. And it's the same way I feel with these other three. I feel this way are Fate Zero, Kill la Kill, and Grand Lagann. They're all too absurd for it to be possible.
There's a whole lot more that can't really do well in adaptation too. I mean, isekai animes, and like we've seen many kinds of weird. If you think about it, there's actually some weird movies that has to deal with kind of isekai. Remember the movie Black Knight with Martin Lawrence?
I don't remember that. No.
Like he literally somehow went back in time with during like the Camelot time and stuff like that.
But that's not as absurd.
But like it's just like that. There's a lot of movies that cannot do well with adaptation. It's just I'm agreeing with you, Defenders. There's a lot. One Piece. And we talked about this before we went live. Like, if they're gonna go with the whole Pirates of the Caribbean route, but that's not One Piece.
And it's not One Piece, and even throughout the art styles in the manga and in the anime, and then even with the fights themselves, it's too absurd. I don't like unless you're gonna go to Dragon Ball Z route. And I'm not talking about the live action adaptation. I'm talking about the anime, where every episode is going to end with a "to be continued," and then you have like 3 episodes of one fight. Like it's just not going to work because you can't contain it. If you get what I mean,
you can't really contain freedom because One Piece is all about freedom, and the whole thing is you're not supposed to contain freedom. It's supposed to just literally just be there, where nothing is restricted from you and stuff like that.
Exactly. And that's why I don't think they could. I think plus with how the people look and you're going to have to change the visuals, the character descriptions. You're going to change how they look to fit. You don't have to drastically change how they look to fit this. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about the MCU, they still look necessarily like their comic book counterparts. You know what I'm saying? Like Robert Downey Jr. resembles Tony Stark, you know, and all the characters, except for Bruce Banner. That's also because I just personally don't like him as Bruce Banner. That's just a personal thing. They don't really look alike. You said I don't really like
Mark Ruffalo.
I like Edward Norton better. That's just me. That's just people have different opinions, but they at least resemble their comic counterparts. That's going to be really, 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 really hard to do in One Piece. Like, really hard.
It really depends how much work and study of that character you can do with. Because, it is difficult, but I wouldn't say it's not possible. Because you remember Punisher, the actor who was playing, I forgot his name, who was to portray
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal was supposed to portray as the Punisher himself. He did not know how to play as Punisher until a fan gave him certain comments. Read this, and then try to incorporate this into your role in Daredevil and then in Punisher and that sort of thing. And he made Punisher his own kind of character. It's up to, I guess, the research you can do, how much you can capture, how much you can absorb, how much you can relate into it, and hope you can at least reach a piece of it where people can see and feel the emotions you have for that certain character. With Luffy, it's hard because he's like a really happy-go-lucky, fun character who's always there for the underdog, always there to fight what's right, and who's there for his best, whose friends, his crewmates, and that sort of thing. Because that could be very vague.
But it works in the anime and how in like the animation aspect, but in live action, it just might not come off the same way because I feel like it's easier to draw those types of expressions and to really put them into the point to where they look really authentic than to do it off of live action. It's not going to catch the essence of it.
Agree, and that's almost all the characters, really, just all of them.
What do you think, Vash?
Well, for me, live action adaptation, and for One Piece, like you said, One Punch Man, Dragon Ball Z, Gurren Lagann, Phase Zero that we have here on the list. As much as that we don't want to happen, we don't know what 100 years from now could be. We might have the technology, we might have the effects to do it for the background. We just need the actors.
5 years from now, we could probably have even much better technologies.
Oh no, I'm saying 100 years is what I'm speaking. I don't know about 5 years because we still don't know how it will look. Because as much as we could say, we also need the people that have the passion to be directors to actually do this type of live adaptation, to actually work in this type of field, and to actually do that. Because, like you guys said, to have a One Piece, Luffy, Zoro, Nami, to actually see these type of figures, like Oda draws his woman very abnormal.
Mm-hmm.
If you really think about it, these type of women in One Piece, Big Mom. Who the hell is gonna play Big Mom in the show?
Mom, yeah, exactly.
Like that's kind of hard. Like Blackbeard, who's gonna look like Blackbeard that has a regular looking face, but then a blob type of body? That has to be CG animated or anything that resorts. Whitebeard, a dude that's almost 10 feet tall, if I'm correct. So that's like you have to add a bit of CG on that type of character,
and the camera shots.
On the type of actor, correct. Camera shots is perfect as well. Like that person don't even have to look that tall, but the camera shot is what is important to make it look that he's so tall than you, but it's trying to look like that he's has the dominance on you, that he is bigger than you. So the camera shot has to be over the shoulder, right next to the neck, that shows that he is twice the size as you. But in all honesty, he's not, because the actor's not really 10 feet tall. But the camera shot makes it look like he's 10 feet tall. So it just depends on who's the people behind it. As much as I could say, I don't want a One Piece live action, but guess what? Netflix and them is doing it. Would it be good? No. But if it sucks, well, too bad, because I still have the anime and the mangas to still watch. Will I watch the live action? I'll probably watch it just because I'm a fan. But when I go in with low expectations, hell yeah, because we don't have a great track record to show that we actually have great success.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like,
I
feel like even if they were to try to adapt One Piece in itself, I feel like it's gonna be too expensive, especially with many of the arcs. If you think about it, if you're gonna do like Skypiea, the whole Castle in the Sky look, even if it's like a whole CG and everything like that, that's gonna like do something into, or have Kaido and then drawn as a dragon and everything. A lot of it could work really well if a diehard fan is willing to like drop down a lot of money just to have it produced that way, and that sort of way.
But like probably like, and also that's Sam, I agree with you on that. It's gonna cost a lot of money. And then like also as Vash was saying, they'd have to change the way the characters look because of Oda's art style. And that's probably the main reason why Oda said I have to be a part of it, because you have to change the basis of many of my characters to make it look, good. Because if you have to use CG for every single person, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but there's a lot of things that could go wrong and could make it look like shit. So that's just it. But that's all we have for the topic today. We ran long. I got a little passionate, which I enjoy. I love that. Gonna run through the news real quick. as fast as I possibly can. First thing we have is Ghibli's Studio Ghibli. Their first their first CG
Ghibli,
feature Earwig and the Witch confirms the cast and the staff, and it's December 30th debut.
Reminds me of the Scary Godmother show, like that movie that I used to do in Cartoon Network.
I agree. Yep.
It reminds me of that.
I think it's going to be good though. I actually like the CG, and it reminds me of the CG for the. It's a little bit, I guess it's not the same, but it reminds me of CG for the. Oh my gosh, Lupin the Third movie. It reminds me of that, and Lupin the Third movie CG looks really phenomenal. So I'm guessing we're going to. I'm guessing it'll still look good, and it'll be good. It'll be better than the CG we're used to, especially since it's a Ghibli movie. So. Next, we have Gundam Hathaway film rescheduled for May 7th after COVID-19 delay. So if you have not, if you were looking forward to this Gundam movie, then it's moved back. It actually looks fun. It looks really good. And there's actually a lot of Gundam stuff coming out within the next few months to the next year, which is good for the genre itself. We need more other mecha stuff, though. I think the only other thing I thought was like another SSSS coming out next year, but besides that,
the only mecha I've seen and it's sad to say is Darling in the Franxx.
Still Trigger.
You saw Gurren Lagann, right?
Nope.
Gurren Lagann. You haven't seen Gurren Lagann?
Have not seen Gurren Lagann. Have not seen no type of Gundam. I have not seen much.
He's not much of a. He's not a mecha guy. Sorry, he's not much of a mecha guy.
Which I want to become one. It's just that I need to find.
Well, actually, no. You know what? You forgot about one more. Evangelion.
Yeah, yes. That's a mecha.
Evangelion, one of the ancestors of the whole mecha genre.
Yeah. But then there's like a two different fandoms of either you're the Gundam fan or the Evangelion fan. But like, not many people likes both at the same time though.
Very different series. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's different.
Next, we have Maryland's Katsucon convention announced on Wednesday that staff have canceled the 2021 event due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
Let's be honest. No cons is going to open until next summer, most likely. Until
this was 2021. This was supposed to be next year, and they said that they're moving it to 2022. And this is the convention's first cancellation in 27 years.
I mean, every con had to cancel once March came in after March. So everybody had their first time to cancel. Comic-Con had the first time cancel too.
I know, but everybody's been holding out for as long as they could because they thought that it might help. But they're just at this point, a lot of them are giving up.
Yeah, trust me. Like me and Vash both miss cons. Like we really do miss cons.
Next, we have Netflix's English subtitle teaser for new Seven Deadly Sins TV anime reveals its 2021 streaming date, which is it appears in Japan
January 7th.
It appears in Japan January 6th, one day.
6th, okay.
But we're not gonna get down to like June because of the whole Netflix stuff. So sadly.
But I mean, the last season's poor anime adaptation. I mean, should we care about this season now too?
Studio Dean is still, returning for it. So who knows?
And me and Vash read the manga series for this, and
I could care less for it already.
We can really care less for this now.
I know how it ends, and it's sad.
Yeah,
Bo told me about how it ends. He's like, "Really? This is the ending?"
Yeah, not even it's just the last two arcs.
Next, you have Demon Slayer. Kimetsu no Yaiba film is now the 7th biggest film worldwide in 2020.
You have no competition, so either way.
Yeah, exactly, right? You have no competition.
There's only they're fighting against Bad Boys for Life that came out in January. You're fighting against Bad Boys for Life. That's sad.
They are fighting against Tenet.
Wait, and My Hero Academia that came out in February before the lockdown.
It did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It did. It did.
Damn. 2020 has been a long year.
It's been a long year.
It's been a very long year. I'll tell you right now, the only two anime movies that we missed watching in theaters was Digimon and yeah, I think it was just Digimon that we missed watching.
And Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
I might have to watch it on. They sub it. I might have to watch it on bootleg. But next we have Seven Deadly Sins sequel manga launches in January.
Again, me and Vash barely wouldn't care less. It's just. We
I
talked
have a
about
question. Aaron,
Well-
do you care for it? Like, do you care for it?
Yo, I'm reading this for the listeners, okay? For the listeners that do care, okay? It's not for me. It's not for me.
It's okay. It's okay. We're guilty. We're guilty of why we had to continue the manga series like that. We get it. We definitely get it.
This news is for the listeners, not for me or for anybody on the Black Anime Pod. This is for the listeners that still like Seven Deadly Sins.
I mean, we really poked fun of it in our show from last episode. So.
The Seven Deadly Sins manga will launch in the magazine in Kodansha's weekly shonen magazine. It will launch on its 9th 2021 issue on January 27th. The magazine teased the sequel's protagonist boy, new enemy, and new animal companion. They confirmed the sequel with the tentative title of Mokashiroku no Yankishi, or The Four Knights of the Apocalypse. The new announcement of the sequel manga's launch date did not include a title, so we're not sure what it is yet. Suzuki stated in February that side stories based on the remaining characters will come out someday. However, he added this will be after he begins serializing a new work, confirming that he is working on a new series. So that is
for a guy that made horrible the bad 2 arcs, and you can actually tell that he did it. The reason why I continue is because either the manga studio forced them to do it just for more money and whatnot. But me and Vash are not really careless. We're not gonna care less for this. I'm sorry.
And that's fine. That's fine. You know, somebody cares.
It hurt us. It hurt us. We did care. It just hurt us so badly that we lost it. It's just nope. We can't. You ruined it for us.
Another clue on that, anime is moving its mainstream, baby. And John Oliver's last week tonight sneaks in My Hero Academia reference. Now, John Oliver is a political commentator comedic political commentator. Okay. I don't know. Whatever. In America, he's actually British, immigrated over. My dad, he has a show that he drops every Friday, I think, Friday or Saturday, in which he details last week, tonight, in American politics or worldwide politics, and he talks about a lot of stuff. And in the latest episode, which I watched, I don't know how I missed this. He was breaking down the results of the U.S. election, but found opportunity to sneak in a My Hero Academia reference. At one point during the segment, a graphic appears showing a middle-aged dad chanting outside his teenage son's bedroom door. The door shows a poster of the My Hero Academia, the movie's Heroes Rising film, as well as a sign reading "Eat, X, Sleep, Game, Repeat," indicating very stereotypical teen male interests. They had the segment video like that, so that's kind of cool. Next we have Attack on Titan manga is 1% to 2% from completion. So
2 to 4 chapters.
Yeah, it's just about wrapped up. If you've been wondering, and honestly, for the last season, they actually have it's literally just a little over what was adapted for season 3. So season 3 was, I forget what chapters it was like something in 90, 95. It was like something
close to 100.
It's close to 100. I think it was like 95. It ended at about 95, but they adapted about 50 chapters into it, and we're getting about that many. We're getting a little bit over that many for this next season. The Isayama spoke at the unveiling of the statue of the manga's main characters in his hometown. He added that he had been arranging the pieces of the finale like the end game of a shogi, Japanese chess game.
Agree.
So It
Shut
should
it.
end with a bang.
I just want to see season 4, and I want to see his masterpiece. And I'm curious to know that once he's done with the series, is he going to retire, or is he going to make another short series, or what's his goal? So that's why I'm really curious to know that after he's done with this, what is he going to do after?
He could do whatever he wants. Technically,
man.
you could probably
he
you can
rich
actually
forever.
you can consider this series much better than Naruto's 700 chapter series right now.
This man gonna be rich forever. Come on now. The next one is, if anybody's thinking about getting me a Christmas present, Kirito's Sword and Sword Art Online Alicization gets a life-size replica. So if y'all y'all thinking about giving me a Christmas present, I would love this. Y'all know I'm a Kirito fan. I'm a Kirito stan. Y'all know that. I'm a Kiri stan. Y'all know that.
It's a lot easier than getting a PS5 for sure.
Hey, I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah, I'm just saying too. Yeah.
And you probably don't have to wait until Christmas to get it.
Nope.
His primary weapon, the Night Sky Sword, is getting a commercial life-size replica via Tamashi Nation's Proplica, a portmanteau prop replica line of character items aimed at adult collectors. The Black Sword item was first unveiled at an Tamashi Nation 2020 online event, which ran from November 6th to the 8th. I mean, if y'all want to get your favorite, anime podcast host a little gift for Christmas, I don't need money. I just need Kirito's sword. Anyway, Torrent Freak MPA lawyers send to a alleged NYAA site personnel to shut site down. So the Torrent Freak website reported on Wednesday that the Motion Pictures Association of America, MPA, delivered cease and desist letters to individuals in North America, Europe, and Australia in September who are illegally in association with the NYAA Torrent website. According to Torrent Freak's reporting, which Anime News Network has not corroborated, legal representations of the MPA allege copyright infringement on part of the website. So I don't know who's been downloading illegal movies, but I better stop that shit. All right. Just watch them. You don't gotta download it. Y'all think it's greedy. Okay, you don't gotta download it. Next up, Demon Souls game PS5 remake previewed in 12-minute gameplay video. This game looks fantastic. I probably won't play it because
some people are playing it now or at this moment right now. We never know. Or
I
they're
know
playing Spider-Man.
Oh, they're playing Spider-Man. Yeah. All I know is I would be breaking my controller. Okay, I don't know. That game is just. From what I've watched people do, it looks frustrating. Nope.
I mean, people died over again for Dark Souls, so
I that's why I haven't played Dark Souls. I don't have the patience. I don't have the temperament. That's what it is. I don't have the temperament.
Dark Souls and plus Demon Souls part of the same universe, or is that just
no? It's different. I think it's different.
Demon Souls came before Dark Souls.
Yeah.
This is a reboot.
Okay.
Next we have Sword Art Online Progressive Anime is a film opening in 2021 for A1 Pictures. So a lot of times people were wondering what is progressive, what's going to happen, and we found out that it is going to be a movie, not a series, which I'm okay with.
I call that.
No, so from what people are saying, that this is adapting part 1 of the story, and I'm happy for this because if people know Ordinance Scale is like a prequel before Alicization, because Ordinance Scale was a setup for the actual series of Alicization. So they might be doing the same thing for Progressive to actually be an actual movie, and then it leads to one more season.
It could, because I hear very good things about Progressive for its light novel series. Like it makes Sword Art Online, like the first season, much better because it's
Progressive isn't technically a redo of the first season.
No, it's just her perspective of the series.
It depicts Kirito's journey through the floating Ironcrag castle from beginning floor by floor, but it's going to take us to parts that we did not see the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see different things,
and the creator had a lot of time to write it up and everything. So
yeah, because he wrote this 10 years after writing the original story. So he became a better writer. He became a better storyteller. And he took the time. So I'm very excited to see his improvement in that.
Yes, Kiri stands unite. Next, we have publisher Square Enix announced on Friday that it is launching a new light novel label titled SQEX, or Square Enix. That wasn't very clever. Novel SQEX novel on January 7th. The company revealed the names and authors of the first 9 novels that are featured as part of the line. The new novel line will have 3 series previously published by Earthstar Entertainment. Didn't I say make my abilities average in the next life, which sounds like Isekai I watched. Then they have Tensai Shitara Dragon no Tamago Data. Okay, there's reincarnated as a dragon egg. Let's aim to be the strongest. And then the last one we have is Der Werwolf. I guess it's German. The Annals of Vite. Probably another Isekai. Who knows?
I mean, it's better than them doing a Marvel game because they lost money from that.
They lost a lot of money.
They lost money with that.
The 6 new novels include I Was Banished from My Adventurer Party, but I'm happy they left without me. So, oh, great holy woman, would it be so bad to be pursued by you? Yes, that's the entire title. That's the title. Why is the title that fucking long?
Like Sam's answer that their long title is because the longer it is, the better it is. I'm like, that's the most stupid response. There's no way that you have a long ass title that's almost 2 sentences together isn't a title for an anime. Like
that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
But that's not long though. Okay, that's not the longest one. Let me keep going.
It's not the longest one here.
It's still... I'm saying that's not the longest one here. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They get longer. So the next one they have is with the all-powerful rural development cheat. I live an easy, slow life, yet it's a village. So what? Then they have one more after that one called boredom-hating ceiling user. In prison, my occasional roommate is an old man who is the only ceiling user in the world. So to kill time, I become his apprentice. There's another one. There's another one that's just as long. The party's gopher/support member longs to be banished. Banishment is now the current fad, but my party members are wrestling my value and won't let me go. These are all
clearly called that one party member banished, and then add like 2 or 3 more words. That's it. Instead of adding like a whole 2-sentence paragraph and then a supporting detail with it.
I really question their dictionary. Like they don't have, is this something wrong with it? They don't have the thesaurus in their book. They don't have like a anything. The thesaurus dictionary, anagram.
Light novels, like I get it, is light novels, and you just have so much words. But it's like what? Just can I just make it like a look? My hero, Naruto, One Piece, Glepner, Hunter x Hunter. Like can I just make it less than 10 words instead of adding like 25 words in one light novel story?
I feel like they're trying to write up all these stories so that nobody is able to write an original story anymore.
Hey, you might be right.
Yeah, they go above and beyond ridiculousness. Like, aha, now it's original because you have this reincarnated into a house. Like, wait, what? Like, what?
I've been reincarnated into a house and people live inside of me and we become friends, but then they also don't become friends because they're adventurers and they fight adventures, but when they come back, we have soup. And that's the story. That's the title of my light novel.
That's almost sounding like Amityville's horror. It's Amityville's horror right there.
The last light novel is when 4 people who have negative skills gather and their synergy creates the strongest party. And that's the last light novel. Square Enix launched their Square Enix Manga and Books North American Publishing Division in fall 2019.
The best thing I can say is great success to you guys with choosing this because
it's not with Marvel games. It's definitely not Marvel games. Nope.
The last news we have to say is Way of the House Husband live action series is getting a spin-off on Hulu. Now this is the same series that is getting the
anime
light
adaptation
novel
on Netflix.
The light novel or manga is getting an anime adaptation on Netflix. So the way Hulu Japan announced on Saturday that the live action, so this is a live action series on Hulu Japan. This just lets you know that Japan has all the best things. Says that Saturday that the live action series of The Way of a House Husband manga is getting a spin-off of original story series that premiere on the service on November 8th. The show titled Rinen Tatsugumi Gokushufu Sensei will reimagine Tatsu became a substitute home economics teacher while the main economics teacher was on maternity leave. The show would have 6 episodes.
I feel like that's gonna be fun because I love the Way of the House Husband series, and it's hilarious. It's just hilariously cool. It's like if I were to give a synopsis, you would imagine Ice Cube being like a whole husband, a home husband, like doing all the chores, the cooking, the cleaning, all that stuff in a more thug gangster sort of way. Like
I can't wait for it to come out.
It's great.
I'm very excited for it
It's
to
so
come
really
out.
great.
I'm very excited. So we're over time, but I don't care. We had fun. That's all that matters. And I hope you guys listened to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But we can't end off without last words. So I need to know, Sam, Vash, what are your last words for today?
Sam, go first.
I don't have any last words.
Okay, while you brainstorm for last words, while you brainstorm by giving some good advice or slander, I'ma just say, for those motherfuckers that say if Joe Biden wins out there or anything like that, watch One Piece. If you say that if this person wins or something or this person loses, you better start watching One
Okay.
Piece. Take your sweet ass time. And at the same time, if you don't want to watch One Piece, don't criticize it. If you haven't watched it or if you don't want to watch it, enjoy your fandom. Enjoy what it is. Like Roger said it today, Roger Base and everything. Enjoy what your medium is. Don't slander other searches because it's bad or you don't enjoy it. If you don't like Black Clover, if you don't like My Hero for what it is, all right, cool. But let other people enjoy what it is. Let them enjoy the whiny kid as Deku for them or not. That character grows to what it is. Each person have their own perspective at the end of the day. Each person enjoy what the character of Luffy is. If you don't see that he has the best type of motives or the best character build or not, at the end of the day, those people are enjoying what makes them happy. It makes them what they could go to sleep at night or wake up watching slice of life genre, or like Sam watching all type of CK genre, what it is. Let people enjoy what it is at the end of the day, because that's their genre and what makes them happy. So if you want to go slander One Piece or not, go fuck yourself at the end of the day, because people should enjoy what it is.
Oh, okay. I guess it's my turn. How am I gonna top that? Jesus. I guess be nice to everybody. Be nice often. Be kind, because you never know what kind of day that they're having. It could be very bad. They just. I never read Black Clover. Never touched it. I can't say anything. I would abstain my vote for anything opinions of Black Clover. But yeah.
Just say it anyway.
Read more manga. This is from Sam the Manga Man. Read more manga.
Be more diverse. I agree with Sam. Be more diverse. Don't just read shonen material. Read other materials. There's other series out there. Even scans material. Read Kaiju number 8 too. It's freaking great.
Well, first I want to thank Vash and Sam for coming on here and talking anime and talking all some stuff. It was really fun having you on. I'm glad y'all were able to come on. I've really enjoyed it. Really had fun with you guys having here. I'm really happy about it. Second, I feel an urge to slander Black Clover because Vash is here, but I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, so what's funny? Last time our other two Anime League guys came in, you had two people to deal with. Now you just one person.
Go ahead, slander Black Clover. I could defend it and I could battle you within the last 2 minutes of the show. Go ahead, slander one, because slander Black Clover. I could defend it. Say that Asa Screams, whatever, is shonen material, whatever, but it's the shonen of this generation for kids that grew up with Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and what it is. Black Clover is doing what is at its best, and it's shonen, playing its shonen tropes, it's shonen material, and it's entertaining for what it is. It doesn't have the best animation adaptation, but for the manga, it's doing good as what it does its best at.
I'm gonna let him have it.
Hey, I mean that's nicer than a whole. That's nicer than a Trump's 2 minute where he keeps interrupting you from talking.
I just speak facts. I do the best I can without being respectful because I know
speak
as much
facts.
it is,
I
it's
speak
each
the best
people's
words.
opinion.
I speak the best words. The best words. I got them. I speak all of them.
I try.
I have the best words. I have the best words. The words, they're all the best. That's mine. I have all of them.
Jump 2 minutes.
I got anything. Keep your masks on. Quarantine if you have to. Keep yourself safe so you can keep everyone else safe. Watch more anime. Read more manga. And that's it.
I speak facts here.
I speak with the facts. Facts. I have the factiest facts. The greatest facts.
Car facts.
The car facts. Bye, y'all. Peace out. Peace out, listeners. Y'all not gonna say bye? Rude. Gosh.
No, we didn't say bye. You car facts.
Rude. Rude.
We all have all the
All right,
facts.
bye
We did
and go
all the
read
testing.
Pornhua.
Have a good day, guys. Just read my mangas. Have a good day.
What's good, everybody? It's your co-host Bo, aka the Manga Mogul, aka the man who reads 1,000 things. I'm just here to thank you guys for listening to the episode of the Black Anime Podcast. If you want to join in discussion with myself and the other co-hosts, connect with us on Twitter and Instagram at BLXXK Anime. Again, that's at BLXXK Anime. I also wanted to remind you guys to check out our Patreon. The link will be in our description below. Depending on the tier that you guys subscribe to, you guys will gain access to exclusive podcasts with our monthly guests, link to join our Discord server with other listeners and us as the Black Anime host, and you also guys get discounts on future Black Anime merch. So it's a pretty cool deal. Again, thank you guys for listening to the episode, and don't forget to look out for our next episode.